And we are live.
Hi.
Oh, are we now?
You can't prove that. Oh, so how are you guys?
Alive.
I will reiterate that same comment.
Still busy working on your request you made.
Oh.
We can make requests.
I made a request. Was it in stream or was it in Discord?
I think it was in Discord, and I'll see what I can do for season 3.
Oh, Rojan.
Mm-hmm.
I believe me and Molly are flop flipped.
Listen, it wasn't like that when I had it originally set.
Magic. I was like, wow, Molly has the same background as me. Wait a minute.
You kid. Oh. Shadow Fox, thank you for the host. I forgot we got the new dice.
You're welcome.
Notification. I thought somebody dropped dice.
That would most likely be Fox. Because we've witnessed him drop dice many times.
Yeah.
And from what he's told us, he's never recovered them.
Those are marbles.
Yeah, my floor is probably just like littered with dice in the corners and up against the baseboards and stuff.
That's just depressing.
I had to take a D12 away from Evie the other night.
Speaking of dice, I found out one of the players in the ARC RP server that I'm on makes dice.
Nice.
And we had like almost an hour-long conversation on like dice practices. We both have the same favorite YouTube dice maker. I was like, look at this guy, he makes great silicone molds. And she's like, yeah, I know, like have that video bookmarked. I'm like, shit, me too.
Me too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Galaxy guys know Groudon is out today. He's getting some well-deserved rest after working 80 hours. 80 hours in the past 6 days.
Groudon is an essential worker at a care facility.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So somebody else
needs to sleep.
Yeah, somebody else will be taking the reins of Tickles tonight while he gets some much-deserved rest. Yeah, 80 hours in 6 days.
That ain't supposed to happen, by the way.
Medical care professional, I believe they can do it. But yeah, it's nuts. I lost my train of thought. Oh,
Game.
Yeah, we're playing D&D. That's right.
Indeed.
Sorry, I myself am recovering from a medical issue, so like I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment. But so welcome back to another episode of Destiny Forged. That is brought to you by the wonderful people over at Roll20. Just like I say every stream, just a huge thank you to them for providing us a platform to be able to host our D&D game on, so we're able to stream it and bring it to you live every week. Before we get started tonight, I also wanted to bring up that the Extra Life donation ticker is once again back up and operational down in our profile. If you want to help us raise money for the kids over in the Lauren Small Children's Center, you'll find a widget down in our stream profile. You click on the donate button, it will open up a pop-up. It won't take you away from the stream. You can enter your information there. It's all nice and simple and intact. And any amounts donated is greatly appreciated and goes directly to helping these kids. We don't see a cent of it. Extra Life doesn't see a cent of it. It's all 100% given to them. It's 100% tax deductible for whatever donations that you make.
The beauty of Extra Life.
The beauty of Extra Life, yeah. On top of that, to give a little incentive to those of you who do donate, we have the return of the menu, which I believe is !Extra Life. Yep. And we have a little incentive menu as we have done in the past for our charity events. PaizoCon this year is online. All because of the what do you call it? Because of the whole coronavirus thing.
Yeah, they canceled the physical, and sadly, it's during the week. It's like Tuesday through Thursday, and I'm like, Tuesday's not happening. Wednesday, I already have a game, and Thursday, I'm like, I don't know. It's like, why for one day?
It's only live for one day.
3 days.
Oh, 3 days.
May 24th to 26th.
I'm wondering if they're going to do that for TwitchCon this year. If they're just going to have it online, because I can't see them like once like the cities begin to open. I can't see Twitch saying, "Hey, come down to San Diego."
Well, they could easily do like video
Yeah.
interviews and conferences and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, the conferences and the panels and stuff you can easily do online. I mean, they do that for PAX and stuff like that. So
Wasn't that, yeah, didn't they do that for, what was it, PAX or E3 this year? Whatever.
PAX. PAX was live. People still went to PAX because it was right at the start of like the whole coronavirus thing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's one that's been totally canceled this year. I think that's
Comic-Con.
E3.
Comic-Con's been canceled.
Well, E3 is not PAX, but yeah.
E3's been canceled.
E3's canceled. Okay, you want to know something adorable?
The OC
My
Fair is
family
canceled.
My family is not nerdy at all. And so when I went to go visit them on Saturday, they were concerned for me. They were like, "Oh my God, did you hear the news?" I was like, "What news?" They're like, "They canceled Comic-Con." And I was like, "Yeah, they did that like a month and a half ago, along with a lot of other things." Oh no.
Yeah, and
But it was just like they were devastated for me. And I was like, yeah, they announced that like over a month ago.
yeah, and if it's to the point to where Twitch is like, you know what, we're still gonna have it. I'm not going. Like, I will sit here and I'll do my own TwitchCon thing from stream.
Because it's HugCon. There's so much physical
Right.
contact.
Right? I have never seen so many people just like jump into group hugs that I do when I go to TwitchCon. It's just
Not to mention the hangouts afterwards.
Exactly. So it's not to mention you just bring everybody from all over the world over to like one centralized location when a global epidemic is happening. That's just asking for trouble.
That's going to become ground zero for cooties, man.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, it already technically is for any nerdy convention because people are just not sanitary
Yeah,
or hygienic
con-
at all anyway on a
Con
normal
plague.
basis.
Con plague, yeah. But you
That's
know,
why I was excited when, I don't know if they still did it, but last time I went to TwitchCon a couple years ago, the little like goodie bag you get for going in through the door actually came with mints and mini deodorant and stuff like
And-
that. And
and
I was
hand
like,
sanitizer.
thank you.
and hand
Thank you.
sanitizer. They stepped up their game the last time we were there. The goodie bags had bottles of hand sanitizer in it.
I just hope to God people used them. They probably did it.
Oh no.
I have a bottle next to my desk.
I used the hand sanitizer was there, and I'm one of those people that when I'm going to a convention, I shower in the morning before going, and as soon as I get back, I shower. So, you got to stay clean during the conventions, because if not, you're just
Or
gonna.
just in general.
Well,
You know,
yeah, in
good
general.
hygiene, meeting people all the time. That's
Like,
just,
in
come on,
general.
guys.
I mean, I don't get out much, and I know that. I live in a
Big pet
cave,
finder.
but
Okay.
things happened last week.
Uh,
Indeed.
What are you talking about? Nothing happened last week. We fought some minotaurs.
Nobody
and a dragon.
died. Yeah, nothing
Yeah,
died.
nobody died.
I hate all of you right now.
We all
I
lived.
will beat you in the face with a teddy bear with a brick in the butt.
I tried so hard not to cry on stream, and then when I went off stream, I was in a state of depression for a while.
Yeah, thanks, Rojan.
Thanks, Rojan. Happy
She's
100th.
not, she is not joking about that.
Look,
He's like, you want a hug? You want to talk about it? I was like, don't touch me. Just don't touch me.
look on the bright side. It was an NPC that died, and it wasn't one of the main characters.
An NPC to you.
Well,
I think she would have preferred one of the main characters over Zara.
Well, Zoro, if it
Look,
makes you
I
if it makes
was
you if it makes you
trying.
feel any better, Rojan did this to me season 1.
Yeah, but it was his family. Not, not
it
a
was,
griffin.
It was my character's wife.
God.
It was like, oh, that family you had?
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It was a dream. It didn't exist.
That's like that whole freaking like, oh, I rolled to see who survived. Can you imagine if you're just like, oh, by the way, your brother and husband died, maybe your dad died, like all these other people died. I would have been like, I'm done.
Just happened to me in my Friday campaign.
I will
We
say,
were stuck in the Underdark for a
Oh,
month, and
no.
when we came back, our
I-
hometown was destroyed.
rolled
DM rolled to
percentiles.
see who would die. All of my characters' friends died.
Let's put it
Every
this way.
single one of them.
Let's put it this way. I rolled percentiles. If it was a 1, it was going to be a total wipe, and the home was going to be destroyed.
And,
I don't want to live anymore.
Lacey, I feel your pain with Sahara because I had an animal companion in that town that I had
No.
found in session 1 of that campaign.
That
And
sounds
had
familiar.
raised from a kitten for the next year and a half of real time, and then it died when I was stuck in the fucking Underdark.
I mean, we found Sahara, what, episode 10, if that?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
Trojan, you shut your mouth.
all
Yeah.
NPCs are Sean Bean. They all can die at any point in time.
No, you.
NPCs are meant to be there for
They
one
were
thing,
real for you know what? I'll
To
think of that with
advance the
Mercy.
to advance the
wow.
plot.
I
Don't-
actually told Rojan ahead of time. I was just like, wait, is this kid gonna be with you? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, just know it's like having an animal companion. You gotta take care of her because shit can happen.
And I'm like, I'm not taking my kid into combat.
well, shit can happen to a ship. I'm just saying.
wow.
Not that I want to, but stuff can happen. I don't want to, but things can happen depending
AC
on what
Fox
they do.
didn't take his family and friends and animal companion to battle, and he came back from a trip and they were all dead.
Yeah,
That wasn't me.
That's also fair, but still.
Look, the only
like, just
the
know
only,
that risk.
look, the only ones that are ever immune to any disaster like that in any of my games are the kids. Like, as soon as you hit adulthood, that you get the death token. Like, death can come for you at any point in time.
Oh, it's like Tales from the Loop when you're teenagers.
exactly.
Instant death.
If you're a kid, you're indestructible. You're gonna get hurt a little bit, but you're not going to die.
We don't approve of children dying, but we're okay if teenagers die.
No,
Everyone's
They're
okay
old
with
enough to know
teenagers
better.
dying.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. In D&D, if you're old enough to fight in battle, you know.
They're old enough to face the
Oh, same here.
consequences.
So Mercy's free game then, is what you're telling me.
Look, I feel sorry for anybody trying to fight Mercy.
Now, what
That
what
child
Ro-
is a crack
what
shot.
Rosen is saying is if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Right, exactly. And like with Mercy, Krogan parenting, sink or swim.
True. That's very true.
Anyway, when we
What
left,
are we talking about?
when we last left off, everyone was making their way through the escape tunnels back towards Ash's family estate after having slain a Dracolich and its rider and a small group of Minotaur skeletons. After the battle, Ash's father did contact her to inform her that they were successful on their end as well, with no casualties to report. And as we make our way into tonight's session, everyone reaches the end of the tunnel. You come to the wooden double doors that lead back into the mansion, and it already sounds like the others are in the common room, coming from judging by the echoes of the voices. What is it you would like to do?
I am just walking to where we met up last time.
Okay. Yeah, the common room. The location that was once trampled by a T-Rex ale.
Oh, Jesus, that's right. We had a year to repair that. It's cool.
Simpler times.
Over a year, actually. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going there.
Okay. Anyone else?
Following suit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the easiest flows. Yep.
Rose is lagging behind the party, but
Okay.
she's following.
Rose is lagging behind the party a bit, as per normal.
Yeah.
All right, so you walk in, you come into the room, and you can see the group there. Dirt and dry patches of blood covering some of them. All of them looking a little worn from the battle that they just had come from.
I instantly walk up to Turok and just give him a big long hug.
And he kind of returns the embrace. He's like, so, whatever you do, don't talk too loud. My ears are still ringing. One of them was a screamer.
I just hold on.
Isn't she permanently deafened?
Oh no, you're
that's
no,
Zale.
no.
No, but I can't hear for 4 hours, so I didn't hear him say that. I'm just hugging.
That's right. I forgot. You are deaf for 4 hours.
I only heard my father because it was telepathy in my head with the marbles, so. Yep.
That's right.
I kind of feel like there would have been some conversation along the hallway. Maybe we might have noticed she wasn't responsive at all.
I mean, I could have been here. I could have been fine, and I still would not be responsive. Let's be fair.
You guys can give me a perception check if you want.
Let's just say it has nothing to do with my hearing.
14?
14. Like you did notice that Ash was not really showing any sort of reaction to anything the group was saying down the hall.
Or Zale?
Again, that's not necessarily the hearing.
Or Zale. Yeah, the both of them just seem to be walking
Oh wait, how long were you deaf for, Zale?
permanently.
Oh, that's right.
I rolled a 20 on my die, so that's a 27 on my perception roll.
Yep.
Old lady has gone deaf. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mom.
So, Rose, you notice more that it's less that they're not showing a reaction because of what just happened or the battle that ensued. You notice that most people, even though if they're trying to ignore something, will have some sort of reaction on their face when listening to people talk. Their faces are completely blank.
Rose over the Marble Network, like open channel. She's gonna go, is there something wrong with you two? You not seem to be responding.
I'm fine.
Nothing that time
Marble.
won't fix, I'm sure.
Well, that's rather vague.
We're not helpful at all.
I can't speak for Ash, but I'm just having a bit of trouble recovering from reverting back into my normal form from the more feral one that I take in battle. Sometimes it's a ringing in my ears, sometimes it's a pressure on my chest, and this time it seems to be I can't hear much. I can't hear anything, but I'm sure it'll go away.
So you're deaf is what you're saying?
Yes.
That's fine. It's not like she listened anyway.
Did you say that out loud or over the Marble Network?
Yes. You could definitely tell there's humor in the tone.
I'm guessing is when that thing screamed at you.
I think so, yes.
Well, after some rest, we can have Molly do a restoration on you. This should fix it right up.
Yes, if it's not returned to normal by the morning, then Molly or Yith or any other healers that may be at Ash's place. They can tend to us.
Oh man, if we had trouble getting Zale up in the mornings before.
Was that out loud or over the Marble
No,
Network?
over the marble. She's teasing you.
I need you to confirm if it's over the marble or through the mouth.
No, it's mostly marble talk. She's enjoying this.
I take it the same as with you, Ashton.
Among other things.
Are you hurt?
Just in my heart. I'm sorry. You now.
I'm fine. Let's just deal with the situation.
All right. So is looking around the room while everyone's like doing their whatever, does it look like, there's going to be any sort of, powwow or anything like that? Or...
Yeah, it looks like everybody was waiting for you, as they've either taken seats or they're kind of leaning on the wall, just trying to recover themselves.
Doing the leaning of the wall in a shadowy part of the room.
Okay.
And I'll just whisper, since I'm still kind of hanging on to Turok, I'll whisper in his ear saying that I'm sorry, I can't hear anything right now.
Kind of like, you see, like he puts his hands over, like around your ears, and he claps them. How about now?
No.
I'm out of ideas.
And kind of tug to the marble to let him know that I can still hear with the Marble Network.
And he contacts you through him. Was like, sometimes I just forget I have this thing.
It's okay. It's my fault for not communicating with you more.
Oh no, like I literally forget I have it.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. I do too.
So did that thing scream at you too? Yeah.
Oh, you can't hear well either?
I've got a little bit of ringing in my ears, but for a while there I was out of it too.
Well, hopefully it comes back. I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully soon.
It was only down for me for about like 45 minutes to an hour, so maybe.
We'll see what happens, and if not, we will try to see if we can both get some healers.
Oh, you got plenty of those around.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't go to the one in the basement. She's weird.
I keep hearing about that one. I still need to meet her.
She's one of those squid face things.
Illithids, I think they're called. We faced them before.
Sure. I don't know. All I saw was a face full of tentacles.
Yeah, that sounds about right. How did the battle go otherwise?
Oh, it went great. Like I said, I threw Lias like 6 times at things. Actually, a really good lawn dart. That boy is definitely aerodynamic.
He is a tall, slender person, so it makes sense.
He's like a living spear.
Did you happen to see my grandfather?
No. The old guy wasn't around us. We sort of hoping he wasn't around you either. But no, it was just a couple minotaur skeletons and fire dogs and a an undead dragon and a rider.
Okay, yeah. Did the rider go after anyone specific for you guys?
I kept on trying to go after your father, but Lias and I sort of put a stop to that one.
Okay. Good to know. All right, well.
Oh, by the way, that little dude, the dwarf.
All right, I forgot he was here.
Never seen somebody send something airborne with a strike. It was entertaining.
That sounds pretty impressive.
Yeah, apparently those hammers he got are magic or something.
Let's note it for future whatever. I should probably let my father know the situation.
I'll be
And
here.
Okay. And I'll go up and I'll hug my father as well, and I'll, like before, whisper in his ear saying that I'm deaf and I can't hear for who knows how long.
Like he just instinctively contacts you through the through his marbling. Yes, Turok took the same brunt force from the assault. Neon Trion, thank you for the host. I'm happy to see that everyone made it back in one piece. So this worries me.
What do you mean?
This was only but a small attack. And he had 2 Dracoliches.
Do you think he's hiding somewhere? Or distracting us?
This was a message. This was definitely a message to be sent to me or to you.
Well, I heard that it was after you specifically, so I'm not surprised there.
I worry as to what it can mean for the future. If your grandfather were to continue to amass undead followers, he would be nigh unstoppable.
Did nothing go after Elias?
No. Well, the Minotaur did, but they just seemed to be going after whomever was closest.
Mm-hmm.
The writer seemed to have a target for me, but no one else.
Me as well. Do you think he has plans for Elias? Or it just, the primary target just happened to be you at the time?
I believe he doesn't even know Elias exists. He knows of me because, well, I am his son, and he knows of you because of your Minotaur friend.
I guess in a way that's good that he doesn't know about Elias. Protects him a little bit. Should we send someone out to search for him, see if he's around?
No, it's not.
Maybe?
It's not like him to stick around. If he wasn't in the main assault, he isn't here. Which worries me, because that only means that these dragons, that this assault was nothing more than a message and something to buy him time.
This broadband over the network.
No, this is between the two of them.
Okay.
Do you think he's not close enough? He's still far away and he just sent these creatures ahead?
I would assume so. Your grandfather was known to be a master strategist.
It's unsettling.
But at the same time, respectable. I may have my issues against him, but at the same time, I still respect him as someone on the battlefield.
That's a little unsettling.
But we will talk about this more later. He looks up after kind of like closing off his marble, and he looks at everyone else. I must thank you all for assisting us in defending our home. Once again, you have my unending gratitude for lending your hand. Please, please get some rest, as this is now your home as much as it is mine. While we may not be blood, I look at all of you as extensions of my family. In the morning, we shall discuss what to do next.
Rose gives him a very slight but respectful bow in acknowledging his thanks.
Did the dragon we fought look like the dragon that was accompanying?
No. It was still a black dragon, but it wasn't the one that you saw at the Citadel. The one that you saw still seemed to have an inkling of its own intelligence. These ones just seem to be mindless beasts.
Xavier, sir.
What is it?
The Draco Lich that accompanied your grandfather in the destruction of the temple was not present today.
I would assume that we are lucky for that. But it is also unfortunate, as it means he has at least 3 of them in his service.
This one that accompanied him did seem to have its own will somewhat still, or at least its own intelligence.
That's alarming, but not surprising.
Was it also a lot bigger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll describe it just so that everyone has an idea what's possibly down the line.
I nod like I understand.
I'll broadcast it over the marbles too.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
So we may be looking at an elder dragon or an elder Dracolich. Wonderful.
It was quite large. Not completely rotten, but
Not whole.
definitely not whole.
I wonder. I'll have my personal scholars look into it. Something like that wouldn't just be a random occurrence. An elder Dracolich, that would have to be somewhere in history recorded. I will have them look into it. Hopefully we find something.
So yeah, I give the full description of whatever I was able to see at the time.
While this is going on, Xander inches over next to Molly. He looks up at her, and Molly, you can see that he's got like this dried greenish blood like just splattered all over him.
Aww.
What's all? What happened? You're not hurt, are you?
No.
Oh, good. Then what's all?
You.
Why? I have all my appendages.
Mm-hmm. You're just covered in goo. And she takes the sleeve of her tunic and just starts kind of cleaning it off.
And he kind of laughs. He's like, "Oh yeah, dragon blood." kind of
That threw me off at first because I thought you said Xavier, not Xander. And I'm
No,
like, why is this
no.
weird, awkward moment happening with my father?
Look.
I was so
Look.
confused. I'm like, oh, Xander, not Xavier. Got it. I was like, wait a minute.
You don't know. You don't know. Maybe Molly has a daddy fetish.
You know what? And that's totally fine.
This is why I have two moms. I can't have a dad. It would get weird real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, wait, Xander. Got it. Okay, reverse. My bad. Sorry. Continue.
Should probably still do it.
And I killed Mags now.
I'm okay.
So I guess we're staying here for a while.
It looks that way, yes.
Well, they've got a forge. I can do work there. Pay my way. Just all the dead things walking about kind of make me a little uneasy, but Xavier told me it's perfectly normal and they're docile.
You do get used to it after a little while. I was a little creeped out by them at first as well. They kind of grow on you after a while.
Speak for yourself.
Listen, Peanut Gallery.
So they
No, but it does still definitely weird Molly out because she's a druid and they're not normal.
Yep.
It's still kind of like
they've offered me a place to stay here for the time being. It looks like you and your group, well, you're stuck with me for now.
You see this small smile just kind of crack across your face. It's like, I'm not seeing a downside.
I would be upset if there was a downside. But if you'll excuse me, I need to go bathe. The dragon's blood kind of hardens a little bit like sap. I need to get this off before it begins to crack and flake all over this nice carpeting.
She kind of leans in, she dots a kiss to his cheek before he walks away.
And again, like as soon as you kiss his cheek, you know that he's blushing because you can feel the heat just coming off of his skin.
You shut your face. I see you shaking your head.
Parental judgment intensifies.
Not judgment, just more like, oh, she's growing up.
Are you kidding? That would be Zale. Me as the player is shaking my head, but Ash is just like, oh.
That was probably wondering.
Ash is pro-romance. Zale is get the hell away from my daughter.
Or fight me for her.
Fight me. So
we can use him. Oh my god, Fox.
So
just staying in character, man.
I think Xander might have more runes than you, just saying.
I don't need runes to beat him. I got claws.
So, Zale, as you're standing there, you feel two hands rest on a hand rests on either shoulder, and
I think because she's so oblivious to everything around her right now, and gnolls rely very heavily on their hearing, she's startled by this and like turns around ready to fight.
And you see two yiths.
Oh.
Is something the matter? Zale? He kind of waves the hands.
I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear you.
Can somebody explain, please? Why can't Zale hear?
Yes, I don't know if you heard what I said. I can't hear you.
And Turok calls out, he's like, Oh, him and Ash got screamed at by some guy on a dragon, and they're not hearing right now. You take Ash. He talks to the other Yith, and it walks over, and both of them use greater restoration on the two of you to remove the deafness.
Ma.
Oh, that is so much better.
Oh, hey, I
So
heard
why
you.
is everyone in here so loud right now?
It's
Thank you, Yeth.
and the others Yith nods like you're welcome, Ash.
So how did things go here? There was no trouble, no intrusions, I hope.
Oh no, my shield protected the estates,
Good,
as
good.
was the plan. Though there are now two of me, for the time being, anyway.
How long does that last?
Until I die, or it's destroyed, or yeah.
Interesting.
Bags, thank you for the tier 1 sub to TBG.
I don't know what the game plan is, but I think I'm just going to head up to my room.
I believe the game plan is for right now to get some rest and then discuss things in the morning. We've all had a strenuous encounter.
Do join me up in the room as soon as you can, Yith. I would like to talk to you about something.
All right. And the other Yith is like, oh, if you need me, I will be in my quarters.
That's
No,
going to take
you
some
come
getting used
too.
to.
It's like, oh, I don't intend for the other me to be around all the time. I've created him to be sort of an emissary for us.
So what you're saying is he can handle the politics and I can have more time with you.
Yes.
I like it.
And if he ever dies, all I need is a bit of snow and I can make a new one.
You're going to have to teach me how to do that sometime.
You don't possess the arcane abilities to do something like that.
Perhaps I'll stick to the weird skull then.
Yes.
So something similar, but a little less control.
And a little more gross.
I thought it was kind of neat, actually.
You would. You've always been the one that liked the blood and gore.
It's a little more visceral, makes me feel alive again. Like I'm back on the battlefields of the desert.
That's the Knoll in you.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Knoll, the old Knoll.
There will always be a bit of that Knoll.
As long as it's just a bit.
Well, I have so much more that I could say to that, but all of it is filthy, and we're in a very public place, so yes, I'm going up to my room.
He kind of looks over to Molly. The children are listening. It's probably not best to say something like that.
Speaking of the children.
What?
While your double, or whatever, is around, make sure he keeps an eye on that dwarf. I don't think I trust him.
Is something wrong with him?
Have you seen the way he acts around Molly?
I can't say that I have. I've been rather preoccupied.
Watch him anytime he's around, and you'll pick up on it real quick.
Oh, I can have my other version of me get some information from him.
That might be advisable.
I'll go speak to him, and then I will meet you in our quarters.
All right, then. And she will head up to her quarters.
Okay. And Yeth kind of goes off into the direction that his duplicate went off in. What are the rest of you doing?
I am going to take Turok's hand and go to our room where I make sure that the door is closed and locked, and I just hold on to him and just cry my fucking eyes out.
Okay.
And until I calm down, I will explain what happened to him. Or what happened.
Do you try to explain what happened to him while you're crying, or
no? Because it won't even be audible.
I was gonna say, because I was gonna roll an intelligence check with him because see if he could translate sappy ash.
No.
It's that dog whistle pitch.
No.
Of talking, just.
No. No, because even if she tried, she doesn't have the amount of air to even get a sentence out, let alone an audible word. So, no. There's no talking while she's crying. That's why when she calms down.
All right. What about the rest of you?
Rose is just going to quietly head back out through the doors we came in from where the battlefield thingy was.
So she's going back through the
tunnels, yeah.
The escape tunnels? Okay. Molly, Tyrus, Kaldros.
I am probably going to go rest. I assume it's still fairly early in the day because we woke up, went to battle, then came back.
Yes, it's pretty much take the time that you need.
I'm gonna rest for a bit and then probably try to find a secluded rooftop and just play with my armor.
Brood. I think that's called brooding.
No, play with my armor.
There's not really any secluded rooftop that you can go onto in the estate. It's all slants and like jagged pillars and stuff, very Castlevania like.
You have to pretend you're a gargoyle.
Look, I've got 2 magical items that grow into these rooms if I need them to.
Gotta keep those damn Belmonts out of the place.
We don't trust the Belmonts.
What's wrong with the Belmonts?
They punch vampires. Tyrus is going to... God. Honestly, he's probably going to just go busy himself at the forge.
Okay. And look at a cat. Is there any...
Russ might stumble his way into the forge to show Tyrus the sword and have him look over the armor.
Okay. Is there any like specific busy work you're doing, or is it just things to kill time?
I don't have anything I need to make right now.
So it's like you're basically just doing like any needed
anything that looks like it needs to be worked on. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. So
like,
you're just
horseshoes that need to be made.
Yep. Like you're just going through like the to-do list. That's
pretty much just to keep himself occupied.
Just to keep himself occupied and sane.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Molly, what about you?
So just because she wants to see what it actually does to a group of people.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh, God. This is good.
That's a way to start. That's a way to start a conversation. See what this does to a bunch of people.
She takes one of the berries off of her new staff and she chucks it at a group of what are they called? Thralls? What are they?
Ghouls?
Ghouls? Yeah. It doesn't hurt them.
No.
Doesn't hurt them. It's just a
Oh.
fog of confusion. She just want to see how confused they get.
So as you throw this berry, and as soon as it hits the ground, it kind of begins to swell for a moment, and it lets out this puff of this bright, like raspberry red mist up into the air. And you kind of just begin to hear like grunts of confusion, and then blades being drawn, and all of a sudden you just hear clacking of blades and like thuds as like flat blades smack into armor and everything.
You just see this look, you know, the anime girl look where she gets the little kitty face and the stars in the eyes, like, ooh.
So the only 3 people that have not caused physical damage to this mansion are Rose, Calderos, and Tiris.
Give it time. Give it time.
Just letting it be known.
I'm not going to do jack squat to this castle unless I absolutely have to.
And you just hear this impish giggle like she's back to being 10 years old, and she just darts off to her room. Everyone knows it was Molly after that noise.
And nobody pays it any attention.
Just like, and then runs.
Okay.
She's gonna go face tank a pillow for a bit. She needs to restore some spells.
Oh, are you doing like an 8 hours rest?
She's gonna attempt to.
Okay.
What time of day is it right now?
It's like midday.
Oh.
She's catnapping.
Yeah, no, Ash is...
Well, I'm sorry, no, it's not midday because it was with the vampires. You were running on vampire time.
Yeah.
So it's midnight, I should say.
Oh yeah, she's face tanking that pillow hard.
Yeah, after crying my eyes out, trying to explain the situation, I am exhausted, and Ash pretty much just like passes out.
Okay.
She had a very emotional evening.
Rose, what are you doing once you you get back into the clearing where the battle took place?
She wants to see if there's anything like she wants to see if any of the undead like vaporize or if they're still there.
The rider itself had vaporized, but the skeletons, or I should say the bones of the Minotaur skeletons are still littered across the battlefield.
So she is going to try and remove the horns off. She doesn't want the horns, but she wants like a good 3 to 4 inches of the tip of their horns. So that's what she wants to try and collect off the minotaurs that are scattered about the battlefield.
Okay.
And the Dracolich is still there, right?
No, when the Dracolich dies, it turns completely to dust.
All right. So the Dracolich is
when the body is destroyed, it turns to dust.
Okay, gotcha.
It's technically not dead because you haven't destroyed the phylactery.
Gotcha. All right. So she doesn't know about Dracoliches, so she won't worry about that. But yeah, she's going to try and do that, and then she's basically just going to wander around the forest for a bit. She's very confused. She's a little hurt. She was hoping Ash would confide in her a little bit, considering she had just recently confided in Ash about something that she was going through. And she's just a little she's a little disjointed emotionally. You know, she can't see her father, and he's injured. You know, the person she, you know, loves, you know, won't confide in her at least a little bit, even as just a friend. She just, you know, she's doesn't feel right because she's been tainted by hell. So she's just kind of like, she's in a very reflective state right now. So she's just wandering about trying to see if she can piece things together.
Okay. Can you do me a favor while you are out there, and can you give me a percentile?
Ooh, okay.
Because you are technically out in nature.
Yeah, I know. I did it on purpose.
I want to split the party.
You know, she, of all the characters other than Tickles who would do it, she's the only other one. And that's not great. That's a 25.
That's a 25. Okay.
Purple worm filled with bees.
Can we,
look, I personally, I have that on my desktop. I have the character, the monster sheet for the purple worm filled with bees.
Can we never, ever talk about that stat block again, please?
Oh, what are you talking about? That stat block is absolutely amazing.
Oh my gosh, Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry, like Snicklestork's tweets with all his monsters with bees is, I love reading them. I'm like, oh, I could actually put this in the game.
What is that? The undead Tyrannosaurus Rex that pukes up zombies.
Yeah,
with bees.
With bees. No, because it's zombies.
Yep.
Okay, so
no.
But why not?
He's got.
I already have a phobia. Just thinking about it is giving me anxiety.
But why?
I mean, that's fair.
Yes.
So Rose, I'm going to have you do me.
You cut out a little bit.
I said
that is a bad place to stop speaking.
Yeah. That was
okay.
Fake.
I'm sorry. I said I am going to need you to do me a favor and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh yeah. Now, granted, I still have my scrying protection thingy on, so I'm hoping it's not someone who shouldn't be able to find me. Okay. You said wisdom, right?
Wisdom.
Okay. I might actually not be dead. Wisdom is +7, so that is a 23.
A 23. Not bad. So
too bad you need a 25.
Yeah, too bad you need a 25. There is you begin to hear this low-pitched screech that seems to be coming from the distance, and it begins to get louder and louder and louder as it comes towards you.
Is it something I've heard before?
It's definitely something that you've heard before. It almost sounds like a banshee's wail.
Oh, jeez. Why is the banshee coming after me?
It's not coming after you, but you're hearing a banshee screech coming from, the distance.
She's going to rope trick.
Okay.
And she's going to use her 10-foot length of rope, so she has a high vantage.
All right.
And she's just gonna sit in the pocket dimension, looking out of the rope trick, just to see what's coming her way.
Okay. So you rope trick up, and you sit up there for probably about a good 15-20 minutes looking on out, and You don't make anything out in that time. But around 25 minutes up into that hole, you begin to hear something being dragged through the snow.
Oh crap. Well, she's not leaving the hole. She's totally staying in there.
I understand. I didn't expect you to drop out of the hole. But you hear the dragging, and then you begin to hear this, like these thunderous footsteps coming from behind it. And then off from the side of the hole, you see this large, like almost tree trunk, thick leg walk by the hole. As you can see that there's a large sack that it's dragging. A bit of blood trailing in the snow as behind the sack as it's being dragged.
She's gonna try and reposition to see if she can get an angle to see what the hell that is.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception roll with that.
Ugh, that might not make it. I think my perception's not good. Yeah, that's an 11.
Okay. I'm going to say with 11, you would still see it with the size of what this thing is. Like you're able to just barely peek out of your rope trick hole, and you can see this large, multi-headed, rotting giant with this what looks to be this stone pillar. It's just uplifted from the ground as a club. And it's,
so are you telling me that she sees an undead Etten?
No, you see an undead multi-headed giant, not an undead Enten. This is
so it has more than 2 heads.
Yes. It technically has 4. But like only 2 are only 2 of them are on its shoulders. And one is like stationary on two of them above the shoulders. One is, sorry, I just hit my microphone, stationary on its arm. And the other one is like on its left side, kind of like poking out of its torso.
Ew.
The hell?
All of which seem to be active.
It's only a belt of frozen bears.
And walking next to it, or hovering next to it, you see 3 banshee. As it just begins to go through the snow. You can see just this sack behind it, just leaking blood as it's being dragged. And as you're doing that, you begin to hear more heavy footsteps approaching.
There's another one? Oh God!
And when
you said the 25-minute mark, right?
Yeah, and when you turn to look, you see another 6 undead giants following. All of these giants, though, only have 1 head.
Okay, are they heading to the mansion?
They're not heading to the mansion. No, they seem to be walking off a ways from the mansion.
Are they coming from the direction of Fellock?
No, they are not coming from the direction of Fellock. If let's see, let's bring up the map here. Just so you can see where you would technically be at. Players wise, let's bring up the map screen for everyone. So when you exited because Ash's castle is about here above Fellock. It's right on the tip to where, like, if you were to look out the other side of the courtyard, you would see the ocean. When you took the tunnel out, you actually came out over here, almost near like the base of the Frigid Crown.
And they're heading towards the Frigid Crown or coming from the Frigid Crown?
They're more looks like they came from this direction and they're heading south.
towards Imver.
Yeah.
Oh crap, we've been there. Who do we know in Imver?
No,
I don't think we've been there.
you've never been to Ilner.
Oh no, we were supposed to go there and we got detoured.
No, you went to the fort. You went to an old fort that was.
We went to
stationed-
Moon Tier.
No, you went to an old fort that was stationed above it when you fought the dragon. That's where you
Yeah.
fought the king. Was that old fort that was located in the forest? You've never been to that town before.
Do I know who's in that town?
You have no idea. Though
alright.
being from
I mean, she's
being
from,
from the
she's
north,
from the north area.
you can go ahead and give me a history roll.
Another that's probably another 11. I think my history is about the same. Hold on. Actually, it might be worse. I don't think I have any points in history. Yep, that's a 4. So no, I have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea what's in Ilfner.
I'm trying to think. It is a port town, though, right?
It is indeed a port town.
Okay, so she knows at least it's a port town. She would talk directly to Tickles.
And
And
Tickles isn't here right now.
I know, but I mean, is it something Tickles might know that I can? I know Groudon's, obviously not here. I'm trying not to be too cheesy, but I mean, it's technically what she would do because Tickles is a pirate.
Can somebody roll me a history check for Tickles?
I can do that. Let's see. What is Tickle's history? Oh, it's actually surprisingly good. Oh, yeah, that is a 22.
Tickles knows that once Ilfner was one of the, well, not even one of the, it was the main port used for Felloc trade, but that was over about 100 years ago. Since then, Ilfner has been abandoned after it fell in the last Northern War.
Ooh,
No ship has come or gone, or like has never come nor left from, or come nor arrived to Ilfner since the war broke out. No official trade anyway.
Gotcha.
It's now more of a memorial than a town.
Ooh. Holy hell. That's not good. Well, I mean, not good if we go there. That'd be stupid. She is going to wait as long as she can before the spell disappears. She doesn't just want to be ejected from the road trip dimension. She's gonna wait till about the last minute to make sure any stragglers are way past. And then she was going to try and spend the night out here, but F that noise with freaking giant zombies roaming around the freaking forest. She makes her way back to Felloc. And she makes sure she if I'm pretty sure the door she came through can be locked, or if it's not locked, she'll lock it behind her.
Okay.
And then she's gonna head to the library and talk to what's his name, the ghost in there,
Gaston. Okay. As you're making your way back.
So I'm in the tunnels?
No, as you're making your way back to the tunnels.
Oh, crap.
Can you give me... let's do a stealth check.
Oh, jeez. Come on. Just gotta roll decent. That'll work. 30?
Oh yeah, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure if something saw you or not, but it didn't.
Oh, thank God. All right, so mental note: the way out of this tunnel is no good. It's the freaking stomping ground of horrible shit. Yeah. So she gets back into Felloc. She's like, she bars the door. She heads over to see Gaston, and she is going to ask Gaston for like any reference books.
All right, so hold off there because you're making your way back while everyone else is at the mansion.
Alrighty.
Those of you who are resting, or having conversations, you're fine. But TUES and Keldros are still in the courtyard. When you are in the courtyard, can you give me perception rolls?
Indeed.
10.
I'm getting concerned. That is the 12th 11 I've rolled in a row on 3 different dice. 17.
All right, so TUES, even through the clanking of the hammer against the anvil, off in the distance, you do hear an echoing scream. Cry
Is
out.
it a scream I recognize?
You can go ahead and give me a history roll.
Different dice. I'm done with my dice at this point. Okay. 10.
10. No, it's not something you would recognize.
Okay.
So you definitely hear it echoing off from
Did
the
it-
east or the west, I should say.
Better question. Does it sound living or not?
You can't really tell with a 10.
Okay, fair enough. I look at Caldros. What was that?
What was that? My sword? It's really cool, isn't it?
You didn't hear anything, did you?
No. What'd you
Okay,
hear?
what's in the direction that it came from?
From your understanding, like the quick look that you got around the area, you do know that that was the direction that your crew exited out of the tunnels when you fought the dragon and the Minotaur.
So back towards where we came from.
Back towards where you came from, yes, off to the west.
I literally set down the hammer, grab Caldros, and do sort of a running drag.
You know, I can walk for myself. Oh, okay. What did you hear?
It sounded like screaming.
Did you recognize it?
No.
Did it sound like really far off? 'Cause, I mean, I didn't hear it. So
It sounded like from where the battle came, where we just were.
All right, 1 second, and I'll telepathically call my celestial wyvern to me.
Okay. By the time like all this has happened, the wyvern is now just lands down next to you.
And I'm gonna hop on and try to go straight up and see what I see in that direction.
Now,
Okay.
the tunnel is underground, right?
The tunnel is underground, yes.
Lord. I call across the Marble Network. Did anyone just scream?
So, Rojan, where would Rose be when that?
You would probably be in the hole at this point.
So I wouldn't hear it.
What, the scream?
No, the request from TUES, because the
Over the
pocket
Marble Network.
the pocket dimension counts as another dimension. It's not the same plane of existence.
Oh no, it still reaches you
It crosses planes.
with the
Is there still an opening?
with the rope trick. Yes, because you still have an opening, so it can still reach you.
All right. So when I hear that Rose through the Marble Network, it's just a few banshees.
A few what?
Did I stutter? A few
I mentioned
banshees.
giants. Okay.
Oh no!
Someone-
At this point in time, she hasn't seen the giants. She's only heard the banshees wail.
Oh, so the giant hasn't come past yet.
The giant hasn't come past yet. Like
Okay, so then she wouldn't say few. She would just say it's a banshee.
yeah, she would just say it's a banshee.
You're muted.
That was more of a thought there. It's fine.
Me to the thought.
And Rose's response wasn't just a TUES, it was open, because that's how
Do
it came in.
you need help?
Well, as long as I'm where I am, then it should go by without any bother to me.
You're somewhere safe.
Technically, yes. At least for the next 45 minutes.
Okay.
So
Why are there banshees? Ash, do you have banshees out roaming around the castle?
Her earring is temporarily off, for she is inconsolable at this time.
Okay.
So you get no
Xavier.
feedback.
Xavier.
Xavier,
You have-
Xavier doesn't have one for the group. He only has a personal connection to Ash.
Oh, hell. Kate, I'm running to find
Sorry.
Xavier then.
Sorry.
what do I see? when I'm
Turok's,
up in the air?
Xavier's, and Lias's are only connected to mine.
From where you were at in the distance that's out, Calderos, you really don't see anything.
I'll try to go to the boundary of Felloc.
The northern boundary?
Well, because it
Yeah,
would be
in
here.
the direction that it goes.
It would be here, and you're here.
Mm.
Actually, no, you're here.
So whatever the direction was, I want to go to that boundary and see if I see anything.
Okay. So it's going to take you some time, but you definitely can fly.
While he's doing that, I'm going to go hunting for Xavier.
Alrighty. Because I do want, like, this is actually a distance of like a couple days if you were to travel, even on flight.
Then how did Rose get there?
The tunnel.
Tunnel's magic, man.
Yep.
If
Take
it's
the
a
wyvern
couple
through the tunnel.
That's
If it's a
why.
couple days, then how would anybody have heard it? I'm very confused right now.
It's a good question, isn't it?
That is a terribly good question. I'm finding Xavier.
Okay. So,
Oh, wait, would I know that's a couple days out?
no. Like,
oh, Lord.
well, if Rose, no, you wouldn't even know it's a couple days out because you guys were literally in that tunnel walking for 15 minutes.
Okay.
So basically, unless Rose wants to actually be helpful with information, we don't know anything. Cool.
Yeah, you don't know the location of where the tunnel.
Well, she doesn't. Well, if that's the case, she doesn't know technically where she is on the map. She would think she's like maybe a half hour to an hour away from the castle.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, she's not.
So, as TUES goes searching for high hell for Xavier, without success, he is nowhere to be found in the mansion. At this time, Rose, this would be when the giants begin to pass you.
Okay, so it's the giants, and then how far behind were the banshees behind the giant?
They were walking with the giant.
Okay, and there were only 3 banshees, right?
There were 3 banshees. There was the multi-headed giant, and then
and then 6 of the undead other giants. So Rose is just gonna go, TUES, I know you're interested. It's not 1 banshee, it's 3, and there are several undead giants accompanying them.
Okay. And has anyone seen Xavier? I say as I'm literally rattling one of the ghouls.
And he's kind of, you shake him for a bit, and it looks at you, and the master is indisposed of in his private chamber.
Did no one else hear the scream?
I
am
heard
sorry.
it. That's why I hid.
Roll just in case Ash may have heard it. No. Nope, that was a low roll.
Nail? Lord.
I mean, I'm inside, but I can do a roll.
I just did a percentage to see how I could see it.
Yeah, no.
This is the worst.
I have really good perception, especially when it comes to hearing. Didn't hear shit.
Oh, I didn't even do perception. I just did what's the percentage of me being able to hear it? 28? No, I do not hear it.
Oh, you could give me a perception roll, not a percentage.
Yeah, there's also a way of if she'd even like pay attention to it.
Can she hear a banshee screaming over the sound of her own wailing?
No, it's just me. The whole time it's just me.
The whole time it's just Ashton.
Y'all thought it was a banshee, really? It's just me.
Rojan.
Uh-huh.
Just 2 seconds off topic. My son just taught me something about Sonic the Hedgehog that even I didn't know, and I'm just looking at him like, you are a freak.
Oh no.
I learned today that you, without even getting to the very end, you can go into the different little zones at the little spinny checkpoints if you spend 50 rings. And I didn't know that, and my son's just like, "Hey, Mom, here." And I'm like,
"That's how you get the chaos. That's how you get the Chaos Emeralds."
Well, I thought the Chaos Emeralds was if you reach the end checkpoint with 100 rings. You can spend 50 at the checkpoints, not the end piece.
Yep.
And I didn't know that.
You can quick gather the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh my God. A bunch of freaks.
Does a 13?
No,
hear this.
A 13 would not hear it over your own crying and consoling as you're telling Turok about your, totally real griffin that he has no recollection of.
Motherfucker.
That you personally know he helped partially train and take care of.
Yep.
Which upsets her even more, and she's like, "How could you say that?" And just
his response is, "I would be pretty sure to remember if I trained a griffin."
Yeah, so she's even more like, "What?" Just can't hear. Back to my original thing where I'm just whoop, don't hear anything.
This time selectively.
Tierce is having a breakdown because no one else heard the scream and no one can be found.
Rose heard the scream. Again, that's why she hid.
I would have heard the scream, but I rolled a 1, so nah, she's audibly dead to the world. She face tanked that pillow a little too hard.
Is Caldros still airborne?
Yeah, I think Calderos would be airborne.
And of course, no, thinking that it only took 15 minutes. Caldros, are you there yet?
I'm at the edge of Fellock. I don't see anything. I mean, I could roll a perception, but even a natural 20 shouldn't.
Yeah, you're not going to see anything.
Because even a natural 20 for me means a 19.
Yeah, you don't see anything reminiscent of any banshees, any pack of undead giants, anything. The area like around the edge of Fellock looks undisturbed, aside from like a couple deer tracks.
Let me ask you this: now that I'm at the edge of Fellock, do I see the place where we had the fight?
Nope. Like where you think it should be, there is no sign of that ruined building. There's no sign of the trap door. There's nothing. It looks completely different than what you would expect it to look like, given the short amount of time that you traveled in that tunnel.
I know I'm not the most perceptive of people, Tierce, but the battleground we fought at was to the west, right?
It was, and yet again, I grab another ghoul.
Why
Where
isn't the
does that tunnel lead?
there?
What tunnel, sir?
And I kind of the one that we took.
The escape tunnels.
Yes, where do those lead?
Depending on the one that you take, it either leads you 2 days west. Is it 2 days? I'm sorry, 4 days west or days east of the castle.
Without letting go of the ghoul. Caldros, those tunnels lead 4 days east or west of Fellock.
So you're telling me right now that Rose is
4 days outside the city.
Rose.
You are 4 days away from Fellock currently.
No, I'm not. I've only been walking for about 15 or 20 minutes.
You took the tunnel.
Yes, I took the tunnel.
The ghoul, I have been informed by one of the ghoul servants that those tunnels take you 4 days outside the city. They are escape tunnels. I'm going to guess they are probably magic.
Well, if that's the case, then yes. And that's
then why did you hear a scream there? And we heard a scream here.
I don't know. You said you heard a scream at the same time the banshee was wailing. I figured I was close enough for the banshee's wail to reach the castle.
I love
try to come back.
I love this seeing
safely.
the brains being racked as why you can hear the sound travel.
There's a banshee in the tunnel.
I'm just gonna go banshees.
Well, I can't do anything until the banshees and the giants are clear.
Like I said, safely.
Well, it'll be another at least 45 minutes before where I'm hiding is no longer viable. And then I will make my way straight to the tunnels.
I'm going to go make my way to this end of the tunnel and try to get to the end of it and stay inside the tunnel, but at the very end of it, just in case Rose ends up needing help.
Mild concern.
You go through the western tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you're around this
The
time,
same tunnel we went through. That's the one.
yeah. As you're making your way through the tunnel, you see Rose coming through the entrance of the trap door that leads out into the ruins.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine. I wasn't seen, thankfully.
Yes, thankfully. What all did you see?
She describes like the weird multi-headed undead giant and his buddies and the banshees and the giant bloodied bag being dragged behind it.
That's not good. That might be part of his army.
Well, I don't know. We're heading in the direction south from that location. And if that's the case, they're more than likely heading towards Ilva, which, is a little weird, but Tickles told me it's a ghost town. There was some sort of war there, and it was abandoned.
That would be a perfect place to maintain an undead army, then, wouldn't it?
Probably. I'm a little concerned where the bag of bloodied whatever came from, considering there's not all that much to the frozen north.
I'm concerned about a lot of things at this point.
Friends who roll dice, thank you for that raid.
Woo!
How y'all doing tonight? How was your stream? Fatal Whisper, thank you for the follow.
It's a friendly raid.
It's a friendly raid, which is much more welcome than an unfriendly raid.
This is true. Hostile takeovers.
Careful, we raid back. Wait.
Wait, what?
I just realized I don't have any of the music going. I was wondering why it was so
Dun dun dun.
Crack, thank you for the follow. Yep. I completely forgot that we had a soundtrack to use. I'm sitting here like, why is it so quiet? Something's wrong. I'm a professional DM, by the way.
Professional streamer, much wow.
And then, like Rose just starts heading back towards the castle, like very nonchalant.
Okay.
I've got tactical information running through my head with more questions than answers. I'm going to try to find Xavier too now, and
you're pretty much informed that the Lord of the Estate is currently indisposed of in his private quarters.
I will try to find Ash then.
Lady Ashton is in her quarters. And you know where Ash's room is at.
Rose is heading to the library to go.
Technically, both those people do not know where my room is, or this is their first time here.
One of these ghouls is going to end up brained if I don't get a proper answer.
At least you won't be hurting anything important.
After much awkward conversations with ghouls that I don't want to be talking to, I will.
Well, the first one you talk to offers to direct you to Ash's quarters.
That doesn't make me comfortable. So I will try to find it on my own and end up asking probably about 20 more and eventually finding it after much trial and error.
Okay. And you could still hear a bit of sniffling and whimpering coming from the other side of the door. And then talks of having just lost a griffin that she's had for over a year and that she's raised since it hatched, and it was taken from her from her when that rider screeched at her.
I actually hear all this?
Yeah, the doors aren't really thick. And Ash isn't really quiet when she is upset.
I'm going to make a mental note about talking to Xavier about, springing for some decent, 2-inch thick mahogany doors for a castle of this standing. But besides that, can I roll to see if that triggers something I know about like monster lore in the things that we fought?
Monster lore?
Like, I'm supposed to be a monster hunter.
You know what a griffin is.
You know what a griffin is.
No, I mean like those things that we fought. Making things get obliterated.
Okay, well, so you wouldn't understand. Why is it playing Sovereign Guard? It ain't Sovereign Guard. You guys aren't in Sovereign Guard. You could give me a history roll. Though the obliterating people from history would not be known.
No,
No one would remember.
No one would remember exactly.
That's an 18.
18?
No, I wouldn't metagame that hard.
You do know they are specifically created wraiths that are given a specific target to seek out, and they will do whatever it takes to ensure the destruction of their target.
Mm-hmm. But I don't have knowledge of like their full capabilities or anything. Okay, cool.
You do know that they have an ear-shattering shriek, but as to aside from making people deaf, there isn't anything on record that says that it erases people from or erases destroyed things from history.
Because they've been erased from history.
Nobody knows to record that.
Well, some of those who have witnessed the killing say that they saw the person vanish, but it's like it's been often attributed to some sort of onset insanity from hearing the shriek. And Morris, thank you for the follow.
Anyways, I'll knock on the door.
I'm still yelling and crying.
Come in.
I was about
Door's
to say
locked.
a little less politely.
Door's locked. I locked the door.
You hear the handle turn and then a thump,
Thump.
Hold on. And Turok just kind of like scoops you up in his arms and walks over to the door and unlocks it.
No, I don't want anyone in here right now.
He's like, come in. You need your friends.
You know what? I'm going to have a long talk with you after this.
You need your friends. There's something seriously wrong. You're telling me stories about griffins that didn't exist.
You don't even believe me.
Because I never trained a griffin.
But you did.
And
I don't know why you don't remember. Maybe you hit your head in the battle or something. I don't know.
Ash, I've never seen Griffin that you're talking about. I didn't train her. I didn't make a bond with her.
Well, then you have amnesia or something. I'm not making this up.
I'm not saying that you're making it up, Ash, but it's definitely something that did not exist.
You can see she is so upset. She's very angry.
You know what I am in my following and my training. I would have remembered this creature.
I still think you hit your head or something. I would not make up something like this.
No, I did not hit my head. Lias hit his head a couple times, but we don't share a brain, so I'm not forgetting for him.
Well, from what I understand, that might be because you threw him several times, which I really do wish I had been there to see. But
Hitchhiker of the Mind, thank you for the raid.
Aldous, is there something that you need? I still need to talk to my husband.
Yes. Apparently, where we just had the battle, there are undead giants in mass along with banshees that Rose just spotted. And they're heading towards some town to the south from there. Inville sounded like Anvil. Anyways,
Inver.
Inver?
Wait, there isn't nothing in Inver.
which is exactly why we probably need to talk to your father, because where else would be a great place to strike Felloc with an undead army?
Would I know if that's somewhat of the kind of local monstery around here?
You can go ahead and give me a history roll, since you are from this part of the world.
Does that mean with advantage?
No, it means you would just be able to make it.
Oh, okay, that's still good. 18?
18.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like the local monster depository. It's more of a war memorial now, almost a resting place of honor for those who fell in the war so many years ago.
But would I know that like those kind of monsters exist in the area, or at least in the northern area?
No, you've never had your run-in with any sort of giants or undead giants in your life in the Northern Kingdom. You know that there were giants over in Dashir, but they were alive. They weren't undead. Now, banshees, on the other hand, do from time to time wander off from the areas of the Frigid Crown, but not giants.
Okay, where did she see these?
She was apparently out strolling the woods near the battleground. You can ask her why later, but she heard the scream. Now, here's the weird thing. We only just realized that that's 4 days away.
Yeah, I know that.
Tears heard the scream from here.
Oh, that's probably because of the crown. It kind of is really good at making things echo.
The what?
What?
The frigid crown?
The giant glacier.
Oh, ice.
The glacial mountain that's almost like literally right next to us.
Everybody knows that.
Well, to be fair, anybody who's lived up here knows that.
I didn't. Tears didn't. None of us realized that we had walked 4 days travel in that tunnel in 15 minutes.
Well, it never seemed important.
It probably wasn't. But point being, he heard it while he was here from all the way over there. It's a bit
Banshees can be
disconcerting.
loud. I mean, it's a banshee.
4 days away.
Okay, so if it's 4 days from here, then we have nothing to worry about.
Okay. You said this place was a memorial for heroes from a war a while ago?
In Vern, yes. Long time
What do
ago.
liches like to do?
Don't know much about liches, so I don't know.
They like to make undead armies to support their causes. Where would be a great place to get some undead soldiers?
Well, what about
Anywhere in the universe?
What about that place TUES is from? I mean, if I were
Probably there too, but it's across the world. Whereas this place is near Felloc, which is where your grandfather has 2 prime targets he wants to eliminate. You and your father.
Put my earring back in. Father?
Yes, Snow Lily. How can I help you?
Sorry to disturb you, but I have been told that there are some undead giants among some other creatures traveling south to Ilvner.
How strange.
With a bloody sack, apparently.
And alarming.
So, if you don't mind, I'm going to send Kaldros your way.
If that would not be advisable right now, dear.
Are you not in the castle?
I am feeding right now.
Well, it's still in the middle of the night, yeah, okay.
So
When
glad I can't hear this conversation.
when should I send him your way?
We will discuss it. We will discuss it when the sun sets. We all need rest. I do not have the energy at the moment to entertain this.
I am right there with you. I will let him know. You enjoy your evening, Father.
You too.
My father is busy at the moment. We will discuss it at sunrise. Right now, he is very busy. And so am I. I look over and I glare at Turok again.
Turok, real quick. You're a man of action, right?
Yeah, but like she said, she's kind of busy.
Yep. Yeah, I get that. This is the tape. 1 second. Has Ash ever lied to you before?
Why would Ash
Well,
lie to
alright.
me? No, wait. Why would she lie to me? Wait. Why?
That's my point.
You actually made
Ash.
it worse.
Ash, what did you lie to me about?
I never lied to you.
But then
Ever.
then why is Kaldros asking that question?
Because he's making a point that you should believe me because I have never lied to you before.
I didn't say you were lying. Maybe you.
But you don't believe me.
Maybe you hit your head. Maybe you
I
were the one that
didn't.
had their head struck. Why do I always have to be the one that hits their head and forgets things? Maybe
You like to use your head a lot in battle.
Yeah, and you get hit a lot in battle. Maybe you got hit in the head.
Okay, then maybe I got hit in the head, but I still remember her. I pull out my whistle. I keep showing this to you, saying that it exists, but it won't work because it works for her. As I'm like slowly pushing Kaldros out because we're getting
I've
back into
already
our
walked away.
conversation. Yeah, lock the door, close the door. We're still at it.
You found that whistle.
No, I did not. I had it custom made for her.
No. You got that whistle a while ago, but it wasn't custom made for anything.
Yes, I did. I told you where I got it from.
Yes, but you didn't. It was for it wasn't for a griffin.
What was it for then?
Paulcat, thank you for the follow. I don't know.
A weird thing to commission a whistle for.
Some animal you wanted in the future? You were talking about, getting a lot of animals when we got our own place.
What? Why would I make a custom whistle for an animal that I don't have yet when it
Ash,
has to be attuned to her?
Ash, you buy bookshelves for future books you don't have yet.
I collect books. That's a thing.
You also collect animals, or you
Shut
try
up.
to anyway.
I do that in real life. You stop making that face, Shadow Fox. I do not have a problem. I like books. Shush you.
And okay. Even if what you're saying is true, and she vanished,
It is true.
what can we do?
I don't know, but if you don't remember her, then I will just go find someone who will help me try to get her back. I don't know.
Well, I think the first step is to find somebody who remembers her.
Maybe I will, because you certainly don't.
I don't.
You took care of her for a long time.
I don't remember that. And I would have remembered raising a griffin.
Same here when I've had her for almost 2 years.
And again, nothing. I don't remember.
You know what? I am trying to confide in you, and you are just questioning as if I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I know I love to make stuff up, but I'm not making this up. I make stuff up for stories. Why would I make this up?
Because it would make a good story.
No, it wouldn't. This is heartbreaking. Do you think these tears are fake?
Give me a second here.
Fuck. I don't know his stats. You made his stats. I don't know if he has low intelligence.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he's done.
The boy is about.
Oh no!
The boy is about as intelligent as a sack of rocks.
No!
Yeah. Rose has been telling Ash that over the last 2 years, ever since she met Turok.
I literally don't know his stats. I don't know anything.
He's got good wisdom, but he's about as intelligent as a sack of rocks.
Yeah.
With animals in nature, that makes sense, but still.
He's like, well, to be fair, you cry over the fake books all the time.
But those tears are different. You can see that I'm just like in the moment, like, oh, that's so sad or romantic. This is legit sadness. I lost a friend tears.
Well, I didn't know if you were maybe writing your own book and it made you sad.
It still would be a different set of tears.
You sure?
Yes.
When people cry, it just all sounds the same to me.
Truck. I love you, but you need to go right now. You are not helping the situation.
I'm not really sure how I can help the situation.
Well, I thought just confiding in you and crying to you and you making me feel better would help, but you're actually making it worse. I need you to go right now.
Okay,
And tell the ghoul to send me breakfast, please. I need a drink.
You want me to look for the griffin?
No, because she's not there. And that is where this all started. She was annihilated. There's not a speck or a feather left of her.
But
I need you to go.
okay.
Please. Thank you.
He kind of like you just see that he is legitimately confused over the whole situation. Like you see it in his eyes, he's lost. He kind of just like walks out and shuts the door.
I throw something against the door just out of sheer anger. I don't know what. I just throw something. A book, a vase, I don't care. First thing I just throw something.
Okay. While this is going on, before we go a little bit deeper into this, let's go ahead and take our first, or I should say take our break for the night, guys. So we can all like get up, stretch your legs, all that fun stuff. And when we get back, we will continue on with trying to prove if the griffin is real or not. Spoiler alert, it's not. Not anymore anyway. Some Albino Gaming, thank you for the follow. Let's stick with this, guys. We will be right back. All right, we
Dakota.
are back.
Hi.
So yeah, Ash,
See you later.
Turok's only got a 6 intelligence.
Oh, you rolled so low for
Oh
him.
yeah, I did.
Oh no.
Yeah, I did. That was his dump stat.
You make charisma his dumb stat.
Zoro, I got bad news for you.
What? He's a smart frog.
My forest gnome's pet ferret has a higher int than him.
You know what? I don't need your sass. Okay.
However,
Like she said, she didn't marry him for his brains.
You know what? I married him for his heart. Okay.
But we're gonna
I-
take
I-
that
I
away.
feel
He's
it.
damn good in the sack.
The one the Forest Lord gave him?
The
That
one
I
that we
feel
might
it
have to
prudent
repossess.
to point out, though, that insight is a wisdom-based ability.
What's that?
Insight
Yeah,
is
but
a
intelligence
wisdom-based
is
ability.
yeah.
Look,
So-
listen,
Look,
listen.
his
Intellig-
he doesn't need insight. He's got an axe.
Yeah.
No, I mean for him to determine whether Ash is telling the truth, or at least that she thinks that she's telling the truth.
Bertrand,
She
are you
thinks she's
implying
telling
if
the
he
high
truth.
wants,
enough.
Trying.
Bertrand, are you implying that if he wants to know what someone's thinking, he'll just hit them with an axe and look inside?
I mean,
that
he
sounds
could.
good to me.
He could.
Sounds entirely reasonable.
I mean, most people tend to spill things after he hits them with Stella, so
Oh, I miss Stella.
Still, is such a good axe. The only axe that brings about reforestation.
Pretty weird.
so once Ash leaves, or
No,
once
once
Turok
No.
leaves,
leaves.
No, I
once
kicked the
Turok-
husbands on the couch
yeah,
tonight.
once Turok was sent to sleep on the couch because Ash is crazy.
I don't think our home was within a short walking distance, so he's spending the night on the couch.
Rose, you make it into the library just as you see Gaston closing the large oaken wooden or the oaken bookcase, the secret compartment behind it, and throwing a rat towards it as the jaws of the mimic open up and consume the rat.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, Lady Rose, how have you been? As he just floats on down through the banister and down onto the ground level.
She is unexpectedly happy that he recognizes her. And she knows he's a ghost, but the fact that he doesn't freak out, the fact that she's like literally a different person than the last time
She looks
was
different,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a little bit more put at ease by that. It's kind of weird she's taking solace in undead people. It's like
My dear, what is bothering you? You've got that look of constipation on your face.
I saw something rather disturbing, and I don't know what it is, and I'm hoping your library might have some insight for me.
Oh dear, where did you see it?
She describes like the weird, four-headed undead giant thingy.
Oh dear. That would be Patchwork, or Patch for short. He
Wait, you know this thing?
he's a bit of a legend in this area, yes.
Ooh.
Or I should say what do the humans call a tall tale?
He is rather tall.
Well, I would assume so if he is a giant. But you say you saw him.
Yes. Thankfully, from the other side of a rope trick.
It is good that he did not see you. Tell me, does he actually carry a bloody sack?
Yes. He has a bloody sack. He drags it with him. You can hear it audibly through the snow.
That's his feed bag.
Thankfully, I didn't end up in that tonight.
Yes, he tends to like to stuff whatever he killed into it and drag it around a bit to tenderize it before he consumes whatever disgusting gore is inside.
Oh, that's unhealthy.
Well, I don't think sanitation is something that the undead worry about. I know I don't. Unless it's to keep dust off the bookshelves.
There were also several other, normal's not the right word, but unmutated undead giants in tow, as well as some banshees.
That is odd. Every story I have of him, he is a solitary creature.
Well, that's disconcerting. I was
Where was he sighted? Or I should ask where you saw him.
Well, I needed to clear my head, so I went out through the western tunnel to the battlefield where we fought the undead unicorns and the one of two or several Dracoliches Ashton's grandfather employs, just to collect, components and things of that nature, and just to hopefully spend the night in the forest, just to, clear my mind.
You were saying that he was near one of the escape tunnels.
Oh, yes, fairly close.
What is he doing away from his den?
I don't know, but he was...
He's on the opposite side of the continent.
Well, he was walking towards Ilver. I mean, granted, it was considering where we were. Now that I know where we were, it would be several days away, but that's the direction in which he was meandering with his undead army in tow.
He should not be far from Dashir. There's a small wasteland to the north of it where he's said to train.
No, this was not Dashir. We've been to Dashir.
I will definitely need to edit a couple of the books that talk about him.
Yeah, she describes him in gory detail.
He's like yes, that is him. And you said he was walking to the south.
Yes.
With other undead giants and banshee.
Those are the only ones that I could see. Out of character, would Rose have noticed the thing she snuck by that didn't see her?
No, because she was not aware of its presence.
Oh dear God, thank God that thing didn't see me. Holy hell. I do not want to know what is more perceptive than she is.
An invisible undead.
Oh dear God. That's just wrong. It's wrong, sir. That's wrong. But yeah, so she's just like she tells him that well, I was speaking with Caldross. He said that Ashton's grandfather might have possibly employed them to be in his army, and could be using Ilver as a staging point to attack Felak.
Well,
I was hoping to see if any of that even sounded feasible, to see if there was any reference material in the library that would support that.
Well, High Count Vincent was the one who dedicated Ilver as a memorial. If anyone would have any idea of what may be buried there, it would be him. The current master of the estate may know of it, as he was a boy at the time, but it would be a feasible concern.
Have we been there or met this person before?
Who?
The count that Gaston referenced?
High Count Vincent is Ash's grandfather.
Oh, okay. I've never heard anyone refer to him as High Count Vincent.
Yep, all you've heard is Grandpappy and the other Lich.
The other Lich.
The other lich.
The other Lich. Well, no, there's a Lich that Rose wants to kill too. So don't get it twisted.
Lich number 2.
Lich number 2. Well, then I'm presuming we'll have to have a discussion with Ashton's father in the morning. I doubt very seriously there's anything we can do tonight. And considering their numbers and the fact that we've just fought off, what we did, I doubt any of us are in the shape to engage these things in our weakened states.
That does sound logical.
It just sounds prudent, and me wanting to make sure I don't die unnecessarily.
Yes, if you were to die to any of his forces, more than likely you would be raised under his service.
That's good to know. Now, I heard that in Malorsic, should one pass, they are instantaneously raised as the dead. Is this the same thing with Ashton's grandfather?
Not necessarily. The curse in Malorsic is a curse. With Ash's grandfather now being a Lich and already previously being a accomplished necromancer, he would just use his magic to raise you from the dead.
So you would just have to recover whomever fell before he had a chance to raise them.
Yes, or burn the body.
Understandable. She would ask if, because she knows he's got maps, would you possibly have a map of Inver? I'm sure it's most likely old considering what it is now, but is there something we could use possibly as a reference?
I do have an updated map when the city was dedicated, if that would help.
Is that something you could leave out so I can use it to show everyone tomorrow?
Yeah, oh, yes. Give me just a moment. I will look through my maps and bring it to you post-haste. And kind of just begins to fly off and floating through some of the bookshelves.
Still trips her out when he does that.
I mean, he's a ghost. He's not going to walk around corners.
I know. It's just...
Though as he's coming back, he has to anyway because he's holding something corporeal in his hand. So he's like actually coming around the corners, and he hands you a small scroll case, a small map case.
All right.
It should have the at least the details for the city itself and the crypt that is stored underneath it.
Cool. It's because she's worried. It's like she wants. This is so out of character for her, but she's like, the odds of dying are greatly increasing the longer she stays with this party. But she's emotionally tied to it, so she's like, oh, God. Normally she would just bail on all this shit. It's just like,
she would just nope.
Yeah, it just goes against all of her training. So she's going to roll out that map and roll out her shadow roadmap, and she wants to see if there's any maps in or near Inver that she could use as an emergency escape, even if she has to like yank the party through with her and they suffer a little bit of damage. She wants to see if there's like some way she can get out of there.
Not necessarily, because they've been closed off to you.
Oh, bitch.
Like, remember,
would she have known that beforehand?
You were informed that you've pretty much been excommunicated from the Shadow Roads, so you cannot use them to get around anywhere.
All right, so then she wouldn't have done that.
Like, the only point of access that you have is to the crossroads, and that is because of your relationship with the merchant that's there.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So she'll take the map, and she'll head to her room. And God, she's got a lot of heavy crap on her mind. She is like, when she gets to her room, she's going to reach out and talk to Taka, because she wants to hear a friendly, unjudgmental voice at the moment, and right now hers is the only one she can think of. And we don't have to RP it, but she's pretty much going to spend the rest of the night until she needs to go into her trance, just basically just going over the things that have happened, that she's tainted, and she's basically going to go into some greater detail as to her emotional state with Taka, because she feels right now that she's the only one that would listen to her without judging or making, from what she perceives, minimalizing the situation or how she feels.
Okay. So is anybody doing anything else through the night?
Yes.
Okay, Zale? Or Zale and Tyrus, because I know Tyrus had stuff he wanted to do too.
Tyrus can go first.
Well, no, not really. Tyrus was having a freak out about the screams, but if no one else is concerned, it's gonna fall under the not my problem.
Calros would have relayed the information to Tyrus because we were both looking for Xavier. So,
well, I mean, outside of that, no, Tyrus is basically just gonna keep himself busy with smithing. If anyone needs anything, by the way, this is the time to ask. I will convey that to everybody.
Okay, if you're going to convey it through the thing is, I think a lot of people are asleep at the moment. Or
I would have conveyed that through the Marble Network.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone needed anything, this would be the time to ask. Outside of that, no, just sleep when I get around to it.
Okay. Zale?
I would like to have a conversation with Yith.
Yith Prime or Yith 2?
Yith Prime.
Okay.
The one that I told to come up to my room when he was ready. And as soon as he shows up, she's gonna motion for him to sit down on the bed next to her, and she's just gonna kind of lean against him silently and stay there for a while before kind of slowly slipping down, so she's resting her head on his lap and kind of looking up at the ceiling. And her eyes, they keep wanting to close. She's very obviously drained, but she forces them open every once in a while, and eventually she kind of clears her throat a little bit and directs her gaze to him. I can always count on you to give me advice that others won't, right? The stuff that I may not want to hear.
That is part of my job, yes.
I've been thinking about this a lot in the last couple of months. And I've realized that there are more days behind me than there are ahead. I mean, I'm strong. I know I'm strong. Our people wouldn't let me lead them if I wasn't, and I'm only getting stronger. And I have you. You're there to, prop me up when I'm only pretending to be strong, but I'm burning from both ends. Yeth.
You are.
I'm really starting to feel it. I'm tired. I think I do a good job of hiding it, from these people that I travel. These people, it sounds so impersonal. They're family. I care deeply for each one of them. This family that I travel with, but I don't know, they have so much energy. No, maybe that's not right. They're all pulling a world of weight behind them as well, but they're
young.
Yes, they have time. They have years. Except maybe TUES. I don't know what awaits him. But the rest of them, for what they are, they're so young. And all of this sounds so much more dreary than I meant it to. It's not like I'm, getting ready to give up on what we're doing or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say.
You're worried.
I'm worried, and I'm old. I feel old. Yeth. Where does this end? At what point do I stop making reasons not to go home? At what point do I spend my days with you, raising a family? It weighs on me.
Well, you did ask me to guide you and to tell you the truth. In all honesty, Zale, you should leave now. These past few months, you have put not only your body, but your mind in constant danger. I mean, your eyes now, they're a gateway between both this plane and the astral plane. You constantly take risks to improve yourself in battle over the fear of showing weakness. You feel as if you need to be the back that carries these young creatures that travel with you. It's destroying you from the inside out.
It is.
While you do call them a family, and yes, I think of them the same way, you have your own child. Our child. Who, at the moment, if things continue along the way that it is, may run the risk of never growing up to truly know you. You have already done so much for our people, so much for this group, so much for complete and utter strangers. What you've done in the past 2 years has elevated you amongst our people. But we all see it. We see what awaits you.
Is it really that evident? That obvious?
Yes. And I would assume that most of those who have traveled with you for some time see it as well. You're not the same Zale that you used to be. through all the alchemical experimentation, through all the rituals, through all the death, you've slowly started to lose pieces of yourself, which has only made you take more risks. You're breaking down. And sooner or later, that's going to be a hindrance to these children.
How do I leave them, though? After everything that we've done together and everything we've talked about doing together, how do I go a different way?
It will not be easy, I can assure you. But this fight against a lich, against a Fey court, if you continue along this path, I'm afraid you may not survive it.
I'm afraid of the same thing.
Now, I know death in battle is a glorious thing for our people. It's a badge of honor. Especially for a matriarch. And I may be speaking a bit selfishly when I say this, but that honor is not worth it. You are not like the rest of our people. You are our leader. And Daggertree has flourished, yes, but it has not seen enough of its matriarch.
As difficult as it is to admit to thoughts such as those, I do believe I agree with you.
And you kind of see him like lurch forward a bit. Oh my. The dwarf just killed the other me.
I'm sorry. Where was the other you?
He was... I do not know. We don't share a connection like that. I just know he was off talking to... He was going to persuade the dwarf to be wary around Molly. And... it's dead.
Reach out through the Marvel Network. Molly. Molly.
What?
Where is your boy toy?
There is a distinct moment of silence. Excuse me?
Your dwarf. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Can you locate him for me? We need to have a chat.
If only you could audibly hear her eyebrow arching. She slowly pushes up out of bed and just like groggily like makes her way out of. She doesn't even like say anything. You just audible gurgling and grumbling like, I'm not ready to be up. She's starting to take after you, Zayla. You're a bad influence.
A good influence.
And then the next thing, probably Zale won't hear, and just, Alex! And she's just walking through the castle.
Like anyone who was asleep is now going to be woken up as Molly is now yelling for Alex down the hallway. And one of the ghouls runs up and kind of like puts his hand on your mouth, like, Miss, please, some of the guests are trying to sleep. Who are you looking for?
She's just kind of bleary-eyed, like kind of rubbing her eyes a little bit. Just short, little, beautiful dwarf man, beautiful beard.
Oh, the last time that I saw him, he was headed down to the baths, complaining about sticky blood.
You just see this little kitty face appear on her. It's like, ooh, I know where that is. And she slinks away. He might be a minute, Mom.
Can you just tell me where he is? I will go to him.
Yeah, I think, maybe I tell him to go to you?
No, I don't think that will be necessary.
I don't like where this is going.
I just need to have a chat with him, Molly.
You know what? I'll bite. Bathhouse.
The bathhouse. Okay. She gets up from the bed, calmly walks out the door without addressing Yith at all. Closes
Lie
the
on
door.
And like as you're walking away, he's like, he calls out, "Do not hurt the boy. That wasn't me. That was just a magic snowman."
Well, we'll see if he realized that first. We'll go from there.
Oh boy.
And he kind of he shakes his head, knowing he's not going to convince you any other way, and he just lets you leave.
Calmly closes the door and then takes off at max speed. Which for her is like 260 feet every 6 seconds. So she's real fast.
Molly, are you headed down to the bathhouse as well? Or are you just gonna let Zale have a Zale talk with Xander? Mags?
No.
Did you hear what I asked?
No, I'm sorry.
It's all good. I was asking if Molly was headed down to the bathhouse as well, or if she's just gonna leave Zale to do the talking.
Oh no, hell yeah, she's gonna be a fly on that wall.
Okay.
That way she's also there to rescue him if she has to.
Because of Zale's movement speed, I'm gonna say that you're gonna make it there a little bit before Molly. So you come to the double doors of the bathhouse that the estate holds. And you really don't hear anything from the other side.
Well, I'm not slowing down any as I make contact with the doors.
Okay. And you kind of just like crash on through the doors, and Xander kind of jumps up out of the bath pool, and he looks at you. He just shrugs his shoulders. Help you?
Care to explain yourself?
Explain what? Do you kind of see that that there's like a small puddle of water and like a couple of branches underneath an indentation where like the hammer is now like embedded in?
Surely there has been a recent event that you were involved in that might need explaining.
Oh, you mean the threats? Yeah, I don't take too kindly to those.
So you attacked.
Attack before they attack me. They made it very clear that if I were to be around Molly, things would happen. So I put it into it.
Do you realize who it is that you attacked?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, but it does, little dwarf.
And he kind of like smiles. Look, I stood my ground just like you would stand yours. Would you allow somebody to come in, interrupt a relaxing bath, and threaten you without even a means of introduction?
Certainly I wouldn't. However,
then you would understand that after a threat is made, it's best to act before they do. He kind of lifts his hand up, and you see the hammer begin to like vibrate from the wall as it jets out and it comes back to his hand.
I understand your position, but do understand mine as well. The one you attacked. Though a mere copy, was still the visage of my mate. And she holds out her hand and goes to recall Skullcracker from her room. So it's going to take a minute to get there, but it'll get there.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, he's kind of like looking at you. And Molly, right as you begin to approach the door, you feel Skullcracker just whiz right by you.
It's like sudden anime pose, like pressed up against a wall, like, oh, that almost shaved off something.
Are we going to do this?
Well, that's entirely up to you. We can do this, or you can apologize.
Apologize for killing a snowman.
Apologize for stepping out of line.
And what line is that?
The one that you put yourself in when you associated with my daughter.
Oh, no.
Amal, you are now in range to hear this. Associated. I do not understand what you mean. We met like any normal people would. Is that
Yes.
Is that against your rules? And if so, if you had such a concern about it, why send a lackey to deliver a message?
I merely asked him to keep an eye on you and make sure that you understood the position that you were in.
Position. And what position is that?
As I said, the one that you put yourself in when you associated with Molly. Now, she is free to court whoever she wishes. But it is my responsibility to keep an eye on her and make sure the ones she's going after are right for her. Are you right for her, little dwarf?
You call me little again, I'm gonna knock you down a couple pegs myself.
Is that a threat?
Oh, that's a
Freya,
promise.
shut up.
Well, in that case, perhaps we should step outside. We wouldn't want to damage the bathhouse, would we?
Good points. Allow me to get a little more presentable, and I'll meet you in the courtyard.
Do as you wish. I will be waiting. So turn around. Is Molly standing there?
Molly's standing there with her arms crossed, like, really, Mom?
So stride past Molly, give her a bit of a pat on the shoulder, and head towards the courtyard.
And she just has this look on, like, why? Why? Why you be do?
I should have had Sven eat him. Jesus.
What? Get out! Don't be touched.
Xander's like as Zale's walking away. Xander now has his back to the door as he's walking over, and he grabs his towel. He begins to like dry himself off and he like puts on the leather pants that he has, and then he begins to take his fingers once again, dipping him in this strange blue like paste as he begins to draw runes on his body again.
Molly just kind of creeps up behind him, and where's the paste?
Oh, it's like this large like ceramic jug, not jug, but bowl, and you can see that it's pretty deep, and it's just full of this blue paste.
So woad.
What's that?
Woad.
Mm-hmm.
It's Celtic war paint,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. Molly's gonna like dip her finger in, hoping he doesn't quite notice. And she is just gonna do a real simple rune on his back shoulder blade. He's probably gonna feel her putting that on.
You dressing me for combat?
Protection.
Do you? I have to ask. Was I out of line?
I'm just waking up. I don't know who's been where.
Well, apparently his or her snowmate came down here, made some very obvious threats towards me about you, and I put one of my hammers in its head.
And yet, somehow, I think, had the shoe been on the other foot, I don't think Zale would have done too differently.
Oh, she confirmed she would.
This is also a way of Zale to test your... Think of it as making sure you're actually good enough. I hate to say it that way.
Oh, no, the fire giants do the same thing.
But
I've got to prove to her that I am worthy enough of her daughter.
and she kind of finishes up the rune, and it's just a real simple druidic rune that's just maybe gonna give him a small buff. Like, it's just literally just that little bit of extra. And she's sighs, and she just hugs him, wrapping her arms around his shoulders from behind, and puts her chin on the top of his head, and he's like, just not anything, like, not to the death.
You didn't say it was. To me, this is just a mere duel. Unless she insinuates it or tries to make it to the death.
I don't want to lose either of you.
Well, I promise I won't be going for blood.
She and Ash are the only mothers I've ever known, other than Circia, and I consider you a good friend, even though we've only known each other a few hours, a day or so.
Yes, and that is my confusion as he turns around. We just recently met, and I'm being threatened like we've been in a multi-year courtship. Is she always this aggressive?
Yes. Also, it's partly to do with me. I was only 10 years old a year ago.
Yeah,
it's complicated.
You said that, something about not having a soul.
I, for whatever reason, didn't age as I was meant to, because part of me was missing. Once that was restored, I was the age I was always meant to be. And that came with a lot of maturity that I lacked, and I'm still catching up, and everything's still really confusing, so...
She's protecting you.
Yes.
It's understandable, and I have nothing against her for it. But she did insult me. Twice.
She's very good at that.
So I need to prove to her that I'm not what she assumes I am.
Just stand your ground and she will have all the more respect for you.
Oh. Let's just hope she leaves the face alone. He kind of gives you like a joking smile.
At the very least, don't singe the beard. And she just kind of runs her fingers through it.
He kind of grins. He's like, it's fireproof.
Oh, good. She just like didn't know how to respond to that. It's just like this little bit of a, oh, it's good to know.
But it's not lightning proof.
Oh. All right.
So you may want to get some people up.
Yeah.
If this is supposed to be an actual duel, we're gonna want witnesses and people to put a stop to it if things get a little
Agreed.
out of hand.
Because in an absolute blind rage, if she gets to that point, even I might not be enough to stop my mother. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know about her, but you have my word, I will be pulling my punches.
I think she would think less of you if she suspected that you did. So.
Oh, so just swing for the fences?
Give it your best.
But don't kill her.
But don't kill her.
I can do that.
Alright. And she just has this look on. It's like, oh, right, gotta wake people up. And she scurries out.
Okay. So who all are you going to wake up?
First person I am going to, because it's the one person I know won't throw a shoe at me, is Caldros.
I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not. Are you like
No,
banging
she
on
just
the door?
no,
Or are you doing
like
like marble?
no
or what?
tact, no fucking tact. Just like runs up, grabs door handle, opens door. Caldros, there's about to be a throwdown in the courtyard.
So I'm probably in bed, and this is probably the most unclothed she's ever seen me. Nothing
Inappropriate.
nothing graphic, but there's definitely no top, no, of course the mask is off, all that.
Like, oh,
So this is probably
do
the
have a
first time-
face.
This is probably the first time you see like the myriad of scars and whatnot. But
And she just
yeah.
like runs in and just plops on the side of the bed, just kind of starts bouncing on the edge to get the whole bed moving. It's like, Caldros! Like shakes his shoulder.
I'm being very careful to keep the sheet above the waist. Yep, Molly, I'm up.
Morning.
What?
Good morning.
What?
So, Zale has issued a challenge to Alexander,
Oh
and
God, not again.
oh yeah. So, we need to come and bear witness to make sure they don't kill each other, please. Please.
Oh,
Please.
okay.
Little puppy face. She's kind of pawing at him.
Do you want me to like bane them both, or?
What? No. Just make sure they don't kill each other. If it gets to that point where one's going to take the other down, we have to intervene.
Oh, I mean, I can. Worst come to worst, I can bring somebody back. Oh, okay.
Okay. Just, you know how
Alright.
heated Zale gets.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Alexander fight, so I'm not gonna make any assumptions.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll. Where is this happening? I need to get dressed.
I'm assuming the courtyard?
Yep.
Down in the
All right.
courtyard.
I'll be down in a minute.
I'll go get Ash. By the way, you should not have your mask on. You, and she just walks out.
Entirely just jaw drop, stunned. What just happened?
I'm sorry, what?
Close.
And and you can hear her from outside. It's like, I'll remember to knock next time. Sorry. And goes to Ash's room. In this room, she knows to knock. Penny.
Who's Penny?
I'm assuming by now your hearing is restored.
Yes.
Ash, Mom.
Yes, Molly.
And you can tell by her tone there's a little hint of worry.
I'll open the door for her.
Zale has issued a challenge to Alexander, and there's going to be a fight in the courtyard. Yeah, I'm thinking same thing, but at the same time, it's a good way for Alexander to prove himself, and Zale maybe to ease up on him a little bit.
But what did he do to provoke Zale?
He hammer smashed not Yith.
Wait, so he didn't hit yet?
The other Yith.
Oh, the duplicate.
Yes, and so
What happened to the duplicate?
He got smashed with a hammer.
Oh, that's rude.
Well, according to what I overheard, made it sound like, in no uncertain terms, if you do X, Y, or Z, I will gut you and use your guts as bootlaces, sort of thing. And
That doesn't sound like Yith.
no, but I mean, this is fake Yith, so who knows? But
Wouldn't they have the same personality?
know how not Yiths work.
That's okay. That's fair. That's true.
I don't know how not Yeths work.
I'm also starting to notice the more she hangs out with Ash, the more she talks like her. She's been around her too long.
Personalities of both moms.
Right? But so they're about to have a duel, and I just want to make sure we're there to make sure that they don't kill each other.
Well, I mean, no offense to your new dwarf boy, but I'm pretty sure Zale's going to kick his ass. But this is me just basing it off of Zale, because Zale is really strong.
Yes, but on that same note, I've never seen Alexander fight, so I don't know.
Also that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they're fighting in
The courtyard?
Get
Yes!
the fuck off my grounds!
That's the other reason I thought you should know.
I
love you.
really don't want to disturb my father and my brother. I'm kind of in the middle of hanging out with my boys, but I need to fan some fires, clearly. Let me... You know what? We're having a fight right now. I'm going to give the boys back to Gaston. Give me a moment to put my armor back on. Since I'm wearing just my regular clothes. and I will be right down in like 5-10 minutes.
And she kind of pokes her head in, just real casual wave to Turok before she darts back out.
Turok's not there.
Oh, thank God. Because I was going to assume she poked her head in and he's naked and just like,
Turok's not there.
Okay.
Mommy and Daddy had a fight.
Turok's in the
Turok is in the orc house.
Oh, I was going to say, is he in the stables now?
Yeah, he's in the stables. Actually, no, he'd enjoy that. No, he's not.
He's in the stables
He has to
where
read a book and
Sahara
write
used to sleep.
He has to
He's
read a book.
literally on the couch because he'd hate that.
No, he has to read a book and then write a book report.
It's evil!
The worst.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Depends on the book.
The book has
Crime and punishment.
The book has no pictures, and it's not about animals or forests or axes.
No, it's one of Ash's novels.
Oh,
It's-
God!
It's like Animorphs, where it's just like he just flips through it and just watches the corners. It turns into the animal.
It's the D&D equivalent of Dostoevsky.
Oh
Oh, I
God.
was thinking like the D&D version of Steinbeck because that shit's boring.
Oh, God.
I will.
Have you read Crime and Punishment?
I have
Ugh.
not. On purpose.
That entire book was a
On
crime
purpose.
and was a punishment.
So I will go ahead and I will put my armor back on, carry the boys over to Gaston, saying that I will return to pick them back up after I figure out what the hell's going on. And I will go out to the courtyard.
Okay.
And her next stop is TUES. This one she's not sure is a door how to knock on because she's never had to wake this guy up before.
He's never had to talk to Tyrus.
Yeah, so this is like really weird for her.
Molly should know by now, though, that Tyrus always has a snake out.
Go to your corner.
Boo.
So she just real lightly like, oh wait, aren't snakes deaf? Maybe he'll hear the vibrations.
Rude.
She doesn't know. TUES.
Try again.
Son of a bitch. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna roll my dice. Okay, so I rolled a 20 to kind of cop knock on the door with the side of the fists.
Oh, you're gonna hear that.
Either that or let's hope those are reinforced doors because it's coming down. It's like, oh, I'll pay for that. Eventually. When I get my bags back.
What?
There's about to be a fight in the courtyard.
Is this an invitation or information?
Yes. Mostly information. No, I am concerned because I know how Zale gets, and I have never seen Alexander fight, and I don't know how this is going to go.
Zale's fighting your new toy?
Stop calling him that! You are the fourth person to do that.
What are we wrong? Yes, 2 minutes.
All right. And she stops, looks at him, is like, do you shed? You know what? No, that can wait.
I haven't
She
even
just
opened
leaves.
the door.
No, I mean, it was just a random question as she was thinking before she left. She was like, do you shed? Wait, that can wait. And she just leaves. She's a druid. He's sneaky. She's curious.
He's part Sneck.
And as Molly leaves, she hears the tower shield being dragged off of the door.
All right. And I was half conscious when this happened, but
Molly's now full. Oh, you were?
I was. That's why I got up and moved around earlier. I had to get up or I was going to pass out my keyboard. Is Rose back, or is Rose still off in wherever land?
No, she's back.
Okay, let me go hunt Rose down. And if I can't find her, she's gonna get marble pestered.
So at this point, Rose would be in her room.
Okay. Rose. Rose. Rose?
Azrin's maybe legitimately not there.
No, I had myself muted. Sorry.
Oops. Okay.
I was like, maybe
I
he's
was like,
not
oh god,
there.
Rose is dead. Oh god.
I clicked the button, but apparently I didn't click the button. Molly?
There's about to be a fight out in the courtyard between Zale and Alexander.
Why is your lover fighting Zale?
Okay, at least you did not call him my toy, but can we please not... We are friends? Yes, I like him, but I don't know him.
Why haven't you bedded him yet?
What? Excuse me? Hello?
She opens the door and she's pretty much like in like the medieval version of a teddy or a baby doll.
God.
And she's just like, it's obvious his intentions towards you, and you obviously have lustful feelings towards him.
Her face, she's just looking at him like she doesn't quite get it, and sadly she doesn't.
It's like, I can feel it emanating off of you.
You what? And she's like patting herself down, trying to figure out what the hell she's talking about.
The lust you have for this dwarf, I figured by now you'd at least done something other than kiss, apparently. I mean, you are a druid, you are a being of nature. I mean, it should be self-evident what happens when two beings who are compatible lust for one another. I'm sure
Okay.
you've seen animals in heat. Just do the same thing they do.
Birds and the bees talk from Rose.
Oh no! Molly just stares at Rose almost incredulously, like, how dare you, madam?
What? Is something wrong between you doing something that's natural? Obviously, you don't dislike him, and he doesn't dislike you. Why do you not just give in to the urge and end the foolishness already?
Because I am not going to risk bringing a child in this world that went through what I went through. And she just turns on her heel and walks away.
In the marble Somali, she goes, "You do understand, just doing it once doesn't guarantee a child will be born, right?"
We're not having this discussion, Rose. We're not having this discussion.
Well,
You can hear the squeak in the thought.
it's like you could, like, if Rose just totally like boundless, just like she's like, obviously someone needs to have this discussion with you because Zale and Ashton haven't, and they should have by now. You have a woman's body and you obviously have a woman's urges. If they're not going to tell you what to do and how to handle them correctly, someone does.
You know what? This is why I have my own room.
That's fine. Lock the door, bring him in, and then no one can bother you.
No!
And again, why is Zale trying to kill the dwarf?
Because he threw an axe at an alternate version of Yith without confirming who it actually was and could have possibly killed Yith, but murdered not Yith.
So he felled the double that Yith created.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's stupid.
Well, I mean, Xander had he felt his reasons. Not Yith apparently threatened him, and Xander did not take kindly to it and responded in kind. Anyway, it's about to be sorted in the courtyard. They're going to have a fight. Hopefully not to the death, but I just feel like we should be present just in case it gets too far and we need to stop them.
I guess. I mean, I don't think the dwarf has a chance against Zale, especially as she's trying to protect A, your honor, B, the death of her not yet. If there's
I think it's
anything,
more just the principle of the matter that it could have been Yith, and he didn't ask questions before he put a hammer through his skull.
well, it is Zale. I mean, it's subtlety is not one of her strong points.
But I mean, this was Alexander that murdered the not Yith.
Well, then they should get along swimmingly because they both have the same hard-headed attitude.
That's not how hard-headed attitudes work. They butt heads and they want to kill each other.
Well, that is.
Have you ever seen two elk during rut? It ends badly.
Yes. Hello. I live in a forest.
Listen, Missy.
Did you just compare me to a prey animal?
All of a sudden, Alexander's off the hook.
Where's Rose?
Oh no.
Zale's just over here challenging everyone to duels now.
And Rose is just like,
Get off my lawn.
Let me put on a robe and I'll head down there and see if I can talk some sense into these two fools.
You might want to put on more than a robe, a good strong gust of wind, and everyone's gonna know you're everything.
So, it's just a body.
Okay, this is where you and I are going to differ on opinions, and we're just going to leave it there. And she just turns around, leans in, she just kisses her cheek. She's like, okay, I'm going to head out there to make sure they don't kill each other.
I'll be right there. And like Rose will just like toss on like a sundress.
Oh, I love sundresses. They're so cute.
Once everybody gets out to the courtyard, Alexander is already there with the two hammers in front of him, and he's like on a knee. You can tell that he's praying.
Aw.
And as he begins to pray, you see the runes that have been like painted on his flesh begin to light up.
Outside the castle properties right now. Both of you. Yes, Zale, I'm looking at you too.
You might have to, like, points at, like, her temple.
Rose pipes up and she goes, I don't recommend taking the western tunnels.
I just don't want them going in the tunnel. I just want them going outside the gate. Now, you can do your spat out there.
Courtyard is big and open.
So is outside the gate. Go.
And Alexander kind of stands up and he pulls the hammers up in his hands and he clings them together as they like both light up.
Ooh!
Sorry, miss. Battleground's been chosen.
No. Excuse me. This is, first of all, my battleground, because this is my friggin' house. So therefore, I overrule the battleground location, and I say outside the damn gate.
Wait, I have a solution.
No one test me tonight. I've had a very rough night.
Do I know how big the wooden cube gets?
You know it turns into a house. It doesn't have a courtyard, if that's what you're asking.
Don't put a house in a house.
No. The wooden cube from the temple creates the training ground with the golems.
Yeah, you know how big that gets, but the thing is only one person can enter.
One may enter, none come out.
Because it's meant to test acolytes into their next ascension into the Brotherhood.
Okay, never mind.
I appreciate the thought, though. Outside the gate. I'm not denying your fight. Just get out of the gate.
No property will be damaged.
You can't guarantee that.
Any property damaged, I will replace personally.
That's not the point.
All of this could easily be avoided if the little dwarf would just apologize.
Oh,
Is it true that you killed her mate? I know it wasn't really her mate, but it could have been her real mate. Is that true?
Yes, it threatened me. And she
Oh
insults me.
no. It hurt your feelings. You're a dwarf. You have tough skin. Get over it.
I did by killing it before it can harm me.
Kith wouldn't harm a fly.
That's not what that one said. If I remember correctly, he knew ways to render my flesh without lifting a knife.
Oh, I see now the split. Okay, yeah, no, I see that. Okay, first of all, that's not his fault. He has gone through some shit.
Shouldn't have to worry anyway. It was a snowman.
Why do he... What? Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Either you apologize or you fight out the gate. You act like I'm denying you your fight. Go outside. And I mean outside. It is a simple rule. It is a simple request. It is my friggin' property. Go outside. It is 30 feet that way. It is not that far.
There's a fountain in the courtyard, right?
He nods.
Well, no, I'm asking out of character.
Oh, no, he looked at Ash and he nods. I will respect the lady's demands.
Thank you. Evie, stop being a distraction. You're too cute.
oh, cats.
Yep.
Knocked
Rose
a
is-
necklace off the wall and she was
Oh,
trying
no.
to get it.
Rose is like sitting cross-legged on the fountain, just dangling like a slipper off of her toe. And then she just says out loud, technically it's your father's property.
My family's property. My father is indisposed at the moment. So is my brother. I'm technically third in charge here. Go outside.
And he looks at Ash and he nods as he begins to walk towards the gate, but he's not taking his eyes off Zale.
Thank you, Zale.
If that's what you require,
Thank you.
and we'll go outside the gate. Could have been worse. This started in the bathhouse.
Oh no, not the bathhouse.
I
Oh,
was
by
being
the way,
considerate. We left.
I apologize for the wall.
Finding my zen.
Thank you.
And as Zale begins to walk, there's a hand that grabs your shoulder. And Yith is next to you.
Womp womp.
Yes.
And he's maybe about 4 or 5 feet away from Ash. Didn't we just have a conversation?
We did.
And you're doing it again.
I'm doing this for
Yourself.
very reasons.
You're doing it for yourself.
Yet, if I follow through with what we talked about, I want to make sure there is someone in this group that is dedicated to protecting Molly in my absence.
Molly doesn't need protection. You're treating her like she's a pup. She is a grown individual. She's held herself in multiple battles. She's proved herself multiple times. You're doing this because of your ego.
A point of order. What do you mean your absence? Are you going somewhere?
I haven't made a final that's not true. I have. I just want to make sure that whoever Molly is with cares for her as much as I do.
And you kind of see like a look of confusion on Alexander's face. What do you mean who she is with?
She sees you as her mate, you tiny brained dwarf.
We've met each other 1 day ago. I doubt she
And
sees me as a mate.
Do you not? Oh my goodness! Can no one smell the lust oozing off the two of you?
And somebody please
okay.
gag her.
No,
And you-
Rose is right.
As he extinguishes the hammers, and like the runes like lose their glow as he puts them back. Is this what this was about? You were afraid that I was going to somehow dishonor Molly.
That is entirely what this is about.
She's
that
also
not
new to
obvious
love.
to anyone?
She's also new to love. We're a little protective of her because of it. Sorry.
Molly's just like,
She's never gonna learn anything with the two of you trying to guide her.
Whoa! First of all, she just met him a day ago. She just had her heart broken.
Alexander kind of puts his hands up. This is what you think of the two of us. That since there is an attraction between the two of us, that we are somehow just going to... Oh, how did my father put it? Throw your life away?
Oh my God! I doubt very seriously you can do much better than Molly, my friend.
Oh, I'm not saying it's anything against her. That's the only thing I know of what he said about having children.
I'm just saying I'm supporting her with whatever she decides to do. I just want to make sure she's okay, and you're not randomly just killing people because they threaten
he
you.
walks over to Molly and he's like, I admit she is... Oh, I'm sorry, you are attractive, Molly. But you and I both seem to be on the same page here. We met a day ago. That's a bit...
literally
That's a bit...
day ago.
That's a bit fast, even for rabbits.
Even for me.
That's actually not
Sorry, you don't know that.
not
You
fast at all for gnolls. It's kind of standard.
And Yeth is like, she's
I can see
not
that.
a gnoll, Zale. I know you've accepted her into the tribe, but look at her. She is not a gnoll.
She grew up around me. You know, surely she's going to pick up.
She
the same
kind of absolutely
practices.
rubs the rune that's still on her forehead, like.
See?
I also taught her how to read through smut novels.
Yeah, so there's that as well.
She also
Listen,
had her heart broken. I was just giving her some time.
Yeah, I know this is.
Also, if I can interject, I was with Tanner for over a year and nothing happened, and boy, howdy did he try.
But when you
While
think about
this-
it, that's why I completely trust her, pretty much for the most part, because she doesn't just jump in legs first.
While this is going on, I'm going to pull Rose just slightly back away from the group. I'm going to cast Stone of Truth on the middle of this going on.
Okay.
We unlocked a
I'm-
box
I'm-
here.
I'm gonna try and make my save.
No, I pull
No,
you away from it.
Oh, okay.
I want Zale, Ash, Yith, Molly, Alexander, all the ones having this active conversation. That's the group.
Rarely lies, and when she does, she's a bad liar. So I'm just gonna let it happen.
What's the save on that?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Oh, I would suck anyway.
Why does it have to be wisdom?
And it's
Just for
an
shits and
18.
giggles.
Yeah,
Wait,
Alexander.
what?
Alexander got a 17.
Oh yeah, I got an 18.
14.
I'm not resisting it, but I was just curious. I got a 17 plus 1. Yay me.
What's the save?
Wisdom.
18.
Oh, so I would have just made it.
18 wisdom.
No, it's a charisma save, which is even worse for me.
Oh,
It's a charisma.
Oh, if it's a charisma save, then
That's even better.
Alex got a 21.
Oh, okay.
Instead of my 14, I got a 12.
I got a 21 as well.
I'll lean over and say, Ash resisted, and so did Alexander.
No, I'm not resisting. I was just doing it for shits and giggles.
Alexander doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like,
I did
looking,
not resist.
he was like looking at Molly, and all of a sudden, magic. So instinctually, yeah, he's going to try to resist.
No, that's fine. But
Yeah.
I just lean over to Rose.
And he kind
Alex
of looks back.
resisted it.
Who's the dead
That
man
is
who
next.
just threw magic on me?
Okay, first of all, it's that attitude right there that is like not cool. And second of all, this is familiar. It's not bad. Trust me, it's fine. You're cool. You're fine. Calm down.
You still probably shouldn't cast things on people without their consent.
And he kind of just points up to Molly.
I think that's the whole point of this type of magic.
What magic was it?
Caldros, do you want me to say?
Sure.
Zone of truth to make sure you're not lying to anyone. It is innocent magic.
It is paranoia.
It's
But if
or for in this group, it's for fun, really.
if that's the case, if you're so distraught about I may be lying, I will accept this zone of truth.
Actually, really, I wanted to see just plain truth from everyone. It's more entertaining that way.
Oh,
Will do.
Oh,
It's more for fun.
oh.
I will have you know that I cannot lie, as is my oath to my gods, and as why they grant me my power. To dishonor myself in such a way would be to dishonor them.
I have a similar thing, except it's more fear of my father because he can see right through me.
I look at Molly. Is he a paladin or a cleric?
Uh,
Met him yesterday. I don't know.
it's like
Am I
Rose-
familiar with this oath?
They
Rose will speak
literally-
out and say he's some sort of rune caster. It's a
I explained
special
to the glowy
Obviously.
tats.
It's a
All
special
right,
time.
okay. How about everybody just stop assuming like a bunch of toddlers at a preschool and ask him?
And she looks at Alexander.
What's
Ex-
preschool?
She
I
goes,
don't know. It's school before
"Excuse
school.
me, Alexander, but are you or are you not some sort of rune caster?"
Not a rune caster, but a rune warrior.
Well,
Oh, Zale's
you-
kind of like that.
You divine powers from etching runes.
I etch the runes in honor of the gods. Yes.
And they grant you power. It's pretty much the same thing. So technically, I'm right. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't understand what the fuss is about. My concern is where is Zale going, and why is her possibly having relations with this dwarf any concern of anyone's?
Protective mother?
As far as I'm concerned, I assumed they had already had relations.
You just see Molly's face, just like, really, Rose?
I mean, in a way, Zale and I kind of did have a talk with her saying, hey, if she needs a rebound, go for it. 'cause it's
I
a
don't
heartbreak,
understand all the confusion and why everyone is being in such denial.
I'm here so no one's ruins my shit.
Like Rose, like Rose looks at Molly. Do you or do you not have love feelings for this particular dwarf? But when you look at him, do your loins not burn?
Ooh, there's some cream for that.
No, not that.
Rose,
Oh.
not everybody wants to be as blunt as that. Just so you
It
know.
doesn't matter whether or not they want to be that blunt, but obviously all this problem can have been avoided if people had just let them find the time to find themselves in each other's arms.
We literally met a day ago.
They literally just.
All right,
met a
let
day
me
ago.
let me explain something to you. I don't know the word for it, but I don't have desires like that. I never have, not even when I was with Tanner. So I don't know what to tell you. No.
Also,
Well,
need to
then
castrate
you-
him later.
Then you might not understand.
What's there to understand?
Well, I mean, she was technically a child just recently.
Yes, I know all of that. She was 10. She didn't have a soul. She got one. She turned into who she is now.
See, look at that.
You
she-
told them your life
He
story already?
Yes, and it's
Oh.
been a day. So
Tell him
I-
everything.
again, I don't understand. It's like,
I told her about my heritage too. It was a conversation when we were having dinner.
Did she
Ah, fire
explain
giant.
to you what happened with Tanner?
He used her. And I vowed to
Yes.
crush his face in for it.
Get in line, first of all.
I like him.
So understand the position I was in when I saw the two of you getting close to each other. Where that closeness was leading was not my concern.
You mean
But
because
you were getting close to each other, and the last person that got close to her hurt her.
she gave...
Bad.
We've kissed a couple times. That isn't like I'm trying to steal her heart.
Zale, you of all people should realize that pain is part of learning how to get on in life.
Oh no, we had this talk with Molly. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did.
It's
Mm-hmm. The worst parents in the world.
I do understand your concern, but there are better ways to go about it than have a lackey come to me while I'm bathing and threaten to flay me.
That is
I am
just
naked?
Really?
the way of my people.
And the way of my people, well, my other people, is if you're threatened, you crush the individual before they have a chance to act.
Okay, maybe talk it out first and not go straight for the head.
Fire giants don't talk.
Well, I mean, she's Storm Giant and she does.
We can attest to that. The last one
Storm
we saw
giants are
didn't-
smart. Fire giants aren't.
Oh,
I look at
it's
Zale.
like you and Turok.
we lamb.
I look at Zale. I look at
Hey!
Alexander.
She's not wrong. He is dumb as a brick.
Okay, we're not talking about my husband right now. First of all, that's
But where
rude.
is
I'm
he?
right here. I'm
Like,
right here.
I haven't told you that before.
No, you have before, but still, that doesn't make it any less more hurtful. I don't talk about how dumb any of you are,
Popcorn
because
is
you're
now-
not.
Popcorn is now ruined.
Let me put it this way.
Julian, thank you for the raid, dude.
I reacted correctly. And had you reacted in any other way, dwarf, I would have thought less of you.
Aw, she likes you. She didn't call you little.
The correct way was to interrupt my bath.
The correct way was to challenge you.
I understand.
It's a no thing. If you wrap your head around it too hard, it'll snap.
No, I get it. It was a duel, and I accepted. So
I mean, that sounds like Zale.
I would appreciate it if you call me by my name. Little dwarf is, well, insulting.
It was
He's
intended
a lot
to be.
taller than
I
most
was
dwarves.
pushing you. Had you backed down, you wouldn't have been worth the air that you breathe.
So what you're saying is I got painted for nothing.
I mean, you look very pretty. Cool. Handsome?
At least I got the paint.
Warrior-esque. There you go. I got there.
Well,
What
if
I'm
there
saying-
isn't gonna be any bloodshed, can we all go to bed, please?
What I'm saying is you're not a coward.
Well, I thank you for that.
Ash is gonna lean into Zale real quick, and she's gonna be like, "Did you really just confront him when he was in the bath?"
Yes, the door may need to be repaired. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no,
That's fine. Yeah,
Wall-
you mentioned that before.
the wall has a huge dent in it. I'm sorry about that. I didn't expect the snowman to actually be a snowman, so the wall absorbed most of the impact.
So if
Okay.
we're all on the same page now and we can put this behind us, I would like to go back to my room.
But Zale, is it?
Matriarch Zale, but yes.
Well, Your Grace, then. I believe you're leaving, you said?
This is something we can discuss at a later time.
Well, we're definitely putting a pin in that, that's for sure.
As he raises his, like, it is none of my business. I just arrived, but if it's any, my words have any value to you, don't leave those who cherish you.
Well, that puts her in a sticky wicket, doesn't it? You understand? She has a husband, a tribe, and a daughter. You might as well just tell her to leave us.
I was speaking of you.
Like, is he looking at Rose?
No, he's like looking at the
The
group.
group.
Well, we have no intention of leaving her.
I wasn't saying you leave her. Just don't make any decisions too harshly or too hastily.
I have made no decisions that I am willing to speak of right now. If I do, I will speak of them in the morning.
I think we have another threat on our plate first, but we're definitely going to come back to that for sure. Now, if you excuse me, I have 2 little boys that I would like to spend some time with.
Oh, you got wee ones?
Yes.
How old are they?
They're just a few months old.
He kind of gets a smile on his face. I have an idea. But first, I have some paint to wash off. If you need me, I'll be in the bathhouse.
Okay. But no, really, Zayla, did you see anything when you were in the bathhouse with him?
And he kind of
like what?
He kind of he takes Molly's hand. He kind of kisses it. Kisses the top of it. He's like, "I'm sorry for all this." he kind of chuckles.
And she just
No, really,
shakes
like-
her head. She'll just shakes her head and she just leans in and kisses his temple. And is like, it's okay. This is my family.
Ash, what are you referring to? Could you be plain about it?
Like, because he wasn't wearing anything, was he?
Oh my god.
No,
She's
you
trying
typically
to
don't
see,
in the bath.
She wants to know if you saw his stature.
Well, we all just saw his stature.
No, I mean like.
Oh my god. Are you gonna make me say it?
Yes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Is Alexander still there?
He's begun to
I'm whispering this to Zale, so no one else can hear
Zale's
it.
not whispering in response.
He's begun to
God damn it, Zale.
He's begun to walk up the stairs, and he's about halfway up. He begins to just belt out this dwarven battle song.
Remember, you can't lie.
It's like she wants to know if he'll be able to satisfy Molly once they choose to have relations.
Who said anything about Molly? I'm just curious. This is general curiosity right here.
I don't
Very giant and
know
dwarf.
how
What are we-
skilled he is in that department.
She's
I'm not
asking if how skilled he is. She's asking whether or not
Never
his
mind, Vale.
equipment is sufficient.
Never mind. I had a small little beacon of hope to kind of not have a terrible
Zale,
evening. and
she
it
wants
just
to
ruined-
know how big his thing is.
How loud do you say that?
Oh no! You might as well.
Like that.
And Alexander stops.
Oh no.
And he turns around
Does he drop trowel?
and he's like, "You people are, I have to say, the weirdest group of individuals I have ever met.
Welcome to the family.
We choose to go fight liches.
First challenge me to a duel to prove that I am worthy of Molly, even though we've only known each other for a day. And now you're having a conversation about my manhood.
Well, I was trying to be discreet about it, but I failed. So actually, no, I succeeded.
Wait, using
Y'all
your
failed.
hands and
So-
making measurements. How discreet do you think you were?
Look, if you're curious, I'm going to the bathhouse." And he just turns around and walks off.
As I turn and look Molly straight in the eye.
She just has this blank look on her face. What?
I need to flip a coin.
Never mind. I'm going back to bed.
Ash has this look on her face, like she's like,
I need to flip a coin.
and she walks away.
Scrying mirror.
Oh my
Okay.
god, you don't
The
have
lich
that.
needs to give me my freaking scrying
You
mirror.
don't
have
have
it.
the scrying mirror. You
No,
can't do that.
Zale, can you get in contact with your freaking lich and see? He's done it by now. It's been several days. Where can you ask him where my
And
mirror is, please?
As all of this is going on,
Rose turns to Molly. I'm curious. Do you mind if I go take a bath?
Okay.
I promise I won't do anything.
I've never hit you before. But boy, am I feeling the urge.
My goodness. You know, if you were just a little bit more honest, those urges of anger can be turned into urges of passion.
When have I ever lied
I'm
that
not
you have
saying-
caught me at?
Exactly.
and as this
I'm
argument,
He's in the zone of
proud
truth,
that.
man.
as this argument carries on, and the night passes by, that is where we are going to end it tonight.
God.
Oh, really? Can you contact the freaking lich and be like, "Where's my mirror? God damn it!
I
I
need
ordered
to
this
peep
a
on
week
people.
ago."
Scrying mirror is not meant to be used to spy on people in a bath, Ash.
No, I genuinely want it because I asked for it. It's been like a week. Where is it, man? He said it would take a day.
I mean, we were gonna stop by and get it. We just got sidetracked by, the whole.
Were we
witch
gonna
thing.
teleport there?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, on the way back
Oh.
to Malorsic.
yeah. After,
So hashtag not his fault.
We haven't teleported yet tonight. Let's go. Friggin' mirror.
I mean, we have teleported because we haven't slept since the dragon fight. We both teleported in that one.
Yep.
I thought you had two more.
I do.
But you don't know that.
So that is going to do it for us tonight, everyone. Thank you for watching. That took a twist I did not expect.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
not
Keeping
where
you
I
on your
saw
toes.
any of that going.
Nope.
And in my defense, Avernus is trying to turn Rose into a succubus.
I mean, I like even if she didn't go to Avernus, that's something I would fully expect from Rose.
Not so bluntly,
Yeah.
but probably.
Poor Molly over here getting tortured. Like, no, sorry, poor Molly and poor Alexander. They've known each other for a day.
That's why Ash is like, "Oh my god, it's a day. Nothing's gonna happen. Calm down."
Ash is like, it's
And-
only like chapter 1.
And Rose is in her mind thinking, why does that matter?
Yeah, and Zale's
And Ash
kind
is
of
like,
on that
"Stop
same
it! Stop
page.
it!"
I mean, you all saw what happened last time you were all in Dagger Tree.
Yeah, Ash
Most
got some
don't care how
sleepy
long
time.
they've known each other.
Ash got some sleepy tea.
Yeah, I still have some, and I still have the recipe, and I made some. So now, granted, do I have that? No, because it's in my bag, but I still have the recipe.
Okay, I have the source of the recipe with me right now, so you can just ask him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, can you make some sleepy time tea, please?"
I need some
If
sleepy
you
tea.
knock me
And
the
then
fuck
go
out,
give it
so I
to
don't
my
have to deal
husband.
with these people anymore.
So that is going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the raids, all the new follows. If you guys are new to the channel, this is not the only show that we do every. Well, it's not. Brain's resetting. This is not the only show that we do during the week. We have a show on Monday, which is our Mass Effect game, which is a 5th edition mod using the Mass Effect universe that Zorro DMs for us. And then you have us here on Tuesday night for Destiny Forged, which is our Homebrew 5th edition D&D campaign, which has officially been going on for 2 years now. We celebrated episode 100 and the 2-year anniversary last week. Both shows start at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we usually run till about 11:30. Sometimes we run a little bit later, depending on how intense the combat may be at that point in time. Wednesday nights, I believe we're still doing reruns. Is that a thing still?
When I remember to do it, yes.
And then we also have a YouTube channel. If you've missed any past episodes, we've got from episode 60 of Destiny Forged till current. We also
I do apologize. I am a week behind because I was trying to upload stuff, but Shadow Fox does it all the time for work, so I was interfering with that, and then I was busy all weekend, so that is my bad.
It's all good.
It's just one episode behind. It'll be up this week.
I'm trying to upload a video to YouTube while I'm trying to get a doc set out for.
I don't know what's more important, work or YouTube. I think YouTube's more important than work.
D&D is always more important.
Yeah, I mean,
HB
Fox broke his arm and played D&D through it.
Literally 20 minutes before D&D then.
Like a champ.
It's D&D, man.
And then flipped a coin and grabbed it with his injured arm.
That was stupid, though.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't think that one through.
But are you?
While we're still on the topic of shows, though, expect later this year, because some of these people have foolishly agreed to do it. Expect a Things from the Flood campaign to happen later this year. We haven't even talked about time
The
yet,
Adventures of Richter and Morty season 2.
We never did. We have those up on YouTube? Do you remember?
I think we
I
do.
don't think we
I think we do. I think it was uploaded.
It would have been.
It would have been mixtape.
A little bit over a year and a half ago.
Roughly, yeah.
In September this year would have been exactly 2 years since the month we played.
It definitely would have been part of mixtape because that was part of the mixtape series.
Yep.
Oh, that was so much fun. Tales from the Loop. Oh.
Yeah, so if any of you were there for that campaign, those characters are going to be coming back in the Things from the Flood campaign.
Are you going to be DMing it, or are we bringing?
I would be DMing it. Yes.
All right. The search for Morty.
I have some ideas. None of them are happy ideas, but they make me excited.
Oh dear Lord.
Dislocated your knee, broke the leg. I was DMing the next night in full soft rap. That's
Jeez,
dedication right
that's
there.
That's dedication right there, man.
Yeah. But as everyone, as Fox and Zora were talking about, we also have episodes of our past one shot on there as well of Sonata, which was our D&D December one shot that HB Fox ran for us. We also have all of the episodes of our previous Dragon Age campaign on there, and all of the episodes of our new Mass Effect game as well.
Oh, it's not up there.
That's sad.
Our Tales from the Loop is not up there. Darn it.
That's all right. Then that means everyone has to tune in to find out, how we act. I put the cast information up in the chat. Go shoot follow to all these wonderful people. Without them, I would not be able to have a wonderful group to torture for D&D. But yeah, so we are going to head out for now, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you on Monday for more Mass Effect, and then back here on Tuesday for episode 102 of Destiny Forged. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.